Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. However you happen to be watching and or listening to this, I want to welcome you to the latest episode of the Gaming Circle podcast. The podcast where this week, we should just call this thing the Ragoons. Ragoons, stand up. We here, we missed a week, but we are back to discuss, of course, the Xbox ROG Ally, or is it backwards? I'll leave it to those with receipts to discuss. It's going to be a fun one this morning. I'm, of course, your host, Asante, TK Asante, on all the places we communicate. And I am joined by the man, the myth, the legend, the one who has an Xbox Ally for a head, Mr. Everborn Saga. Good morning, sir.
CEG himself has had his wishes and dreams fulfilled. The full screen experience is here. It is in the wild and available to the public without need for tweaking and twerking.
I feel like you should be wearing a robe. You should have people like flagging you down in the background. You should be like handing out like pamphlets and stuff. Anyway, I'm sorry. Anyway, also joining us, because of course it's GCP. You join us once, you always join us. You are always part of the family. The great Mr. Boomstick XL. Good morning, sir. What's going on, brother?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you. On a rare Saturday. Yeah, I actually had requested to join because when we talk about the Xbox Ally and the Xbox Ally X, I really kind of want to put myself on the front part of the stage. I am exactly who this device is for. And I really kind of want to put that out there because there's a lot of misconceptions on who is actually this device for. And it really is for people like me. I love Game Pass. I've been a proponent of it. Again, of course, I've pushed back in the last couple of weeks about the price increase. I'm not getting off that square. But if you are an Xbox console gamer and you're like me and you love Game Pass, you cannot beat this machine. Now, granted, yes, it's expensive, especially the big boy, but I just think that if you are someone that needed some maybe coaching into potentially buying it, I'd say do your research first. I do think that the $600 device is great, but I kind of wanted to get here and just hang out for a little bit and kind of give you what I've done on it so far.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely.
Hey,
and this is why I want to have you here. Oh, yes.
Boom. I don't know if you know this, but you actually don't exist because no one knows who this device is for.
Oh, that's
all
correct.
right.
Yes,
I am
Mr. Mystery.
Early.
Let's not stop shadowboxing immediately. Come on.
Exactly. Let me introduce the erudite one. Let me introduce the grand wizard of our Discord, the one who walks around magnanimously and can ban you and smack you across your head if you don't act right. The great Lucius Augustus. Good morning, sir. How you doing, man? I know you also have one in hand, so you're gonna be part of this conversation. Absolutely.
Yes,
so, welcome, sir.
I came back to my house after a week-long work trip and a 6-hour flight from San Francisco to DC. And because I wanted to have this discussion so much, and because I'm addicted to technology, I stayed up for an additional 3 hours after getting home to get everything downloaded, have everything updated, all that other stuff. And I'm going to go through my entire process of the good, the bad, the ugly, and the beautiful. So I'm really, really happy to have this conversation. I think that this is a great start, but I have some complaints.
Okay. Well, all right. So there might be also game talk a little bit. How do you guys want to handle it? Because I know Mr. Everborn Saga wants to talk about Absalom. So how are we going to do this? We have to talk about Absalom because I've been playing it as well.
So let's save that for the end because I feel like the main event and we only have Boom for a little while.
Yes,
so I want to
absolutely.
I want to focus on the main topic and then we'll get to the other stuff.
So device came out. There was dissenting reports of its sold out status. We'll leave all those discussions for the Discord. Shout out to the Discord.
That wasn't a real.
By the way,
that was 2 people, but.
By the way, before we even get going, because this is going to be one of those kind of crazy shows where we're just off the cuff because there's a lot to talk about when it comes to this handheld. Thank you all the folks in the chat for being here. I see all the repeat offenders still in here and some new names as well. Shout out to y'all for being here.
Hit the like
please
button.
hit the like button. Yes, thank you. Hit the like button if you
wait a
haven't done
minute.
so.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Can you do me a favor and check how many subscribers we have right now?
I was just about to
literally
get
on
to
the
that
way to check it as we speak.
because we are so close. You can
Two,
literally
two,
taste the numbers.
299. So you know what? If you don't mind, I want to jump in.
So
here,
the
'cause I've been-
number is 2,992 is our subscriber.
We
count.
need 8 people, folks. Come on. I mean, there's got to be 8 people that they're not subscribed, or make a sock account for crying out loud. I don't care how you do it. Yeah, I've been banging
There's
this
no
drum the last
bots.
couple of days.
It's we're not bot people, so it's okay.
No. We're certainly not bots. That's for sure. No. If I may interject, though, I do
Please.
want to kind of just throw this out there because, I know that for some people that listen that don't have their own channels, maybe the numbers don't matter to you, and I would completely understand that. You know, we as content creators, we're number focused, and unfortunately, it becomes a part of the job, so to speak, right? You gotta worry about the numbers, and some people don't. But when you're this close to a number that's going to look better on a spreadsheet for your potential invite to something, it does matter. And Kay Asante has spent a lot of his own money going to all these events, and of course, he's going to enjoy himself, but he's also been putting out a tremendous amount of content. So again, we're talking about 8 humans to get him, bring it to 3K. I think we could do it live on the air. And again, I've been doing this for a long time, and I think that it's, as creators, we need to hold each other up. I really believe in that. I think that there's some people that will disagree with that, say, well, if I help him, I'm gonna lose out. That's never been a thought in my head at all. Mrs. Boom and I do what we do, and we've gained a tremendous amount of incredible subs over the 8 years. I think by the end of next week, we're going to hit 8 million views in 8 years, which is pretty ridiculous.
That is awesome, man.
Considering how small the channel is. And on our way to where we are, and we're only at 16.2, we have on many occasions put people on our backs to carry them to their number. And I think more people need to do that. So if you are in the chat and you're not subscribed, please, for the love of the gaming gods, give this man his flowers, because this show is great. And he's here every week doing it for you guys. Let's just get him to 3K.
Thank you, Boom. You gotta make a black man blush on a Saturday morning. What are you doing, sir? What's going on, man?
It's what I do.
we get 200 to 300 live viewers each week, which is a big deal for the amount of subs that we have, right? It's around 10%, right? Numbers wise, that's good, and we get 1,000, sometimes a couple thousand after the fact. That means a lot of you sons of bees are not subscribed.
Wow. Okay.
Right? Like,
we come to some.
I know you guys are coming back every week. There's a reason you're coming back. Hit the like, sub, like and sub.
We appreciate it. Yes. Shout out to the great Dot Dark in the building, giving Boomstick his flowers.
Thanks.
We all need to give
Mr. Boomstick, give him his flowers for the Helldivers 2 prediction.
I'll never get those flowers, but it's fine.
Hold on, Doc. You can't call it that. So Doc for the audio listeners, he says the ROG Xbox is my favorite Xbox so far. I don't know if it's good or bad for Microsoft. It's great for me though.
There you go.
There's
Words to live by.
There's a super chat from Hollywood Rules. I know I'm just jumping the line because I think it's okay. We'll get to this. So shout out to Hollywood Rules. He's here every week. He's subscribed. Are you?
Indeed, he is.
Some person in the audience. But he says, as a current Ally X owner, was I right to wait? So the first thing I'd say is only you can decide that. But I've said many times, if you have something like a current Ally X or a what's the name of this thing? What's the MSI one? A Claw? Yeah. You're fine for the most part. If you have a current Ally X, you can get this software experience, right? You won't get the ergonomics, but if that doesn't bother you, and there are ways you can go around that with 3D printing.
You can get a
Yeah,
case
there's cases, there's 3D printing you can do, or order some 3D prints. So there's ways around it. And this Z2E chip probably has a lot of driver updates in its future. So there's nothing to say, hey, unless you get a good deal on your current Ally X, right? Hang tight. This will be cheaper than $1,000 in the near future, right? And it'll be better just through nature of driver updates, right? And you, as a current Ally owner, that they don't play around with their driver updates. So maybe wait, let the drivers get better, and then do it. But you're fine where you are, right? I'm just like excited about the tech. I wanted to be on the forefront. Very happy with my existing, and we'll do a comparison because I came prepared today.
Let's start from the top, man. Let's start from the top. We're jumping all over the place. Let's start from the top.
But no, to answer the question, you're totally within your you made a good decision. Hang out, wait. If this is, you don't. I have
no notes on his recommendation. I have no notes. Absolutely what he said. Absolutely, 100%. But let's start from the top. Okay, Mr. Everborn Saga is obviously, as you saw, he is an ROG Ally X owner, right? Mr. Boomstick
and a current and an OG Ally.
And an OG Ally. So he went the original white one, and then you bought the black additional battery life and additional specs.
And once you go black, you never go back. So I had to get.
They say that is very true.
All right, but go ahead.
Do this morning. All right, Mr. Boomstick, you owned an Ally. Well, you own an Ally, an OG Ally, right? Yep, which you had in my possession for some time because I was sprucing it up for you. I did provide the Ally back to you with that new UI in time. You played around with it, and now you are also. I saw you unboxing the great many bountiful plenty that Xbox Pro, that you purchased on Xbox Day, right? On Xbox Handheld Day,
right?
So this, I would say, is your real first experience on this side of the house with the handheld, right? You didn't really spend too much time on the OG Ally, or you tell me, like, how has your experience been with that before this device?
When the PC handheld started coming out, I wind up, thanks to Everborn, originally getting a Steam Deck, and I used it, and it was what I believed at the time to be too PC for me, so I sold it privately. Then, of course, when the ROG Ally, the original one, released, again, thanks to Everborn, I wind up getting it. And I, again, in just being the gamer that I am, thought it was just a little bit too much PC for me, right? Too much of the driver updates, it felt too much like a Windows computer in my hand. That's not the life that I'm about to live. So of course you have what was now, I'm an owner of the ROG Xbox Ally X, and I know I saw somebody in the chat leave a super chat about the driver updates taking 12 hours, and I know for and I mean I think he's being facetious, but I know for Paris he said it took him about 2 hours. I'm going to be honest with you, it took me about 50 minutes from startup to getting at my thing. Like literally, I started up, I signed in, I put my internet stuff in, and I just let everything drop, just update. And 50 minutes later, the slanderous one. I'm assuming he's going to come on here to tell us that Xbox.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he may, and he's always of course invited. Real quick, Boom, on that topic, on the topic of and we can get into that some more. But I did hear that conversation of some people said that their initial builds took a long time. I would assume that those were reviewers, and assumption on my part, who may have gotten a build that was before the retail version came out, because I feel like by and large all you guys have a similar experience as to 45 to an hour is what it's taking. Everborn, you wanted to chime in.
So Giant Bomb actually put out a video. So the thing that's being shared is the Giant Bomb guys talking about their experience, and they were talking about how it took them 3 and 4 hours and they couldn't get the thing to load. Now, what they didn't say at the time was this is pre-release, right? But they did, to their credit, put out a follow-up video that came out last night saying, hey, guys, yes, we did have all those issues, but it was also pre-release and there was something going on with that. And Asus and Xbox did notify them that would not be the consumer experience. And as myself and Boom can attest, that was not. Now, Lucius, I don't know if you want to chime in, because I heard you throw in a 3-hour number.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to hear what your experience was. But let me just tell you what mine was, and then again, this is why you guys should come to the Discord, because this is where we do all our unboxings. We did it live. We talked through it. Shout out to John Wolf. Apparently, he had his shot clock on. See how long it took us to get going. And according to John Wolf, it was exactly 46 minutes. Now, I will say part of that 46 minutes was I had to go and look up my Wi-Fi password. And then because I got a new iPhone, I had to move my authenticator for Steam over to the new iPhone. And I hadn't done that yet. So that took some minutes. So, but we'll go with the higher time, because I'm not going to fight over 10 minutes. Right. That being said,
had we known that was a thing, you would have had all those things prepared.
Oh yeah. If I knew it was a shot clock on me, I would have prepared.
That's
so anyway,
yes, your experience.
I open the box, I turn it on. The first thing it says is, what's your Wi-Fi info? I put the Wi-Fi info. Then it says, name the device. I name the device, and then it says, all right, checking for updates. It checks for the updates, runs the updates for about 30-ish minutes, somewhere between 25-30 minutes. Then it says, and it has a custom screen. There's no other stuff where they're trying to like sell you.
Yeah, no Office 365 logos.
None of that.
No, even laptop logos and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, you're right.
You're custom startup screen. It knows you're in a handheld. And then it says, all right, sign into your Microsoft account. You sign into your Microsoft account. There's no Windows. There's no desktop. You go straight to the Xbox app, but the Xbox app has a special loading screen at the bottom that says, hey, we're running updates on the Xbox app. Now that's done. You're in the full screen experience. You're in the Xbox launcher. And then I go to, and I could have played a game right there, but I didn't, because I wanted to go to Steam. I go to Steam. To my surprise, Steam is pre-installed. And when I launch Steam, then I got to go do the Steam sign in, but you have to do that. You can't avoid
QR code thing.
Right. So I do my QR code, whatever. And then Steam launches directly into big picture mode, which is a nice thing because you're on a handheld. And if you're not used to this thing, okay, I'm in big picture mode. I download, spoiler alert, Absalom, right? That downloads, and then I'm playing it, and then shot clock 46 minutes. That was all I had to do. There's no clicking around. There's no desktop. Name the PC, give it the Wi-Fi, sign into your Microsoft account, sign into your Steam account, download game, play game. And I've spent longer than that setting up my Series X or PS5.
Yeah, definitely.
Let me interject before we continue. We have 4, because he said Absalom, it reminds me. 1, 2, 3. We have 4 amazing games for anyone who bought a handheld or has a handheld and wants to build their library.
Yeah, but
great questions today will earn you one of those. Ooh.
They will, but we're not giving nothing out till we hit 3,000. So when we hit 3,000,
sure, absolutely. But let me tell you the likes of what we have, just so you understand. And shout out to the great Dr. Dryrub, who always presents some great stuff. Today we have Absalom.
Nice.
We're going to talk about it, and we have a copy of it to give away for Steam members, of course. We have Ball X Pin. Oh my God, that game is such crack. We're going to talk about that as well, and we have a copy of it to give away. And we have Deathbound and the Mega Man X Legacy Collection for anyone who wants to win it. So today's going to be a day of days. Ask a good question. Once we hit 3K, we're getting there. I'm keeping a monitored eye. We have about 6 more people. Yep, we need 6 more people. And we're going to start giving those away.
And if we pick you and you're not subscribed, you ain't getting it. I said it.
So there you go. Yes.
I'll try to make my thing quick because I know that that Boom, we want to get Boom's perspective on this as well. Make it real quick. So my time from taking it out of the box to getting to the full stream experience was about 35 minutes.
Wow.
Now, to be fair,
Okay.
I plugged mine in via Ethernet because I was
He
not
was
about
prepared.
to use Wi-Fi to be able to I had a Ethernet to USB thing, and that is something that I use for all of my handhelds whenever I'm doing big updates because it's just faster and it can get me back into the gaming experience as quickly as possible. So that's what I did. It took about 35 minutes. Once I got into the full screen experience, the first thing that I did was download Keeper. The second thing I did was boot up Steam. So that way I could install Battlefield 6 and Digimon Time Stranger. Those were the 3 games that I wanted to test.
And real quick, for people who want to understand what he's talking about, if you don't have a full dock, like a proper dock like this, right? This is a dock, right? With a USB on it, you could get like just a little thing like this.
A little
Someone's got a
dongle,
USB, USB-C on it, Ethernet in the back. It'll save you so many hours. But yes, please, Lucius, continue.
So
Yes.
I download those 3 games. I'm enjoying. That's the new ROG dock that that
give you a reference.
Yeah,
the iPhone
is pretty
is
small, but it's very compact. It gives a lot of functionality. It's nice. I might get it. I'm not 100% sure yet.
It doesn't do dual monitor. We need to warn people that this is kind of a form over function thing because you don't have a lot of ports. But if you're just using it to dock your handheld, it's enough.
Yeah,
connected to the TV. $139, by the way.
Yeah, it's not the cheapest thing, but it's not too expensive either. So I download those 3 games. I first boot up Digimon Time Stranger. I am surprised at how well it's running. I'm playing around with the settings, X, Y, and Z, and I'm like, well, I am plugged in, and that puts it into the 35 watt mode. So let me unplug it. I switch it from the 25 watt mode to the 17 watt mode, and I'm able to play the game perfectly fine. Everything works well, and I'm like, cool, this is great. It feels incredible. That's why something that I wanted to say. The Xbox Ally X feels incredible in my hands. It feels just like holding an Xbox. It's great. Then I'm like, all right, let me boot up Battlefield 6. And this is where the problems start.
This is where all hell broke loose.
This is where all hell breaks loose. Because, and let me just say, during the setup process, during the out-of-box experience, 90% of it was incredible. Had no problem with it. Outside of a small bug where it was freaking out when I was trying to put in my PIN. I don't
clean your dirty screen, Everborn. You're grossing me out.
Mind your business. Mind your business.
I have no idea exactly what happened, but fine. We get into I'm inside of Steam. Everything's working great. I download Battlefield 6. It's installed on the device. Awesome. I try to boot it up. It says, "Yo, your drivers are old. You need to download new drivers before we even let you boot this game." And I'm like, okay, fine. So, and here's where the problems start. And this is where Microsoft really needs to kind of clean this up. I wanted to explicitly have the experience where I could get everything that I needed without one time going into Windows mode.
Into the desktop.
I refused from like a user. Obviously, I know how to do it, but like from a user standpoint, I was like, I refuse to do this. I want to be able to stay inside of this handheld experience mode, and I want to figure out how to properly get this up and running. That took me 45 minutes just to figure it out.
So what was that? Because I haven't gone into the desktop yet, and I'm like you, I refuse to do it. I'm not, and I haven't had to go into the desktop since I've
me either.
Yes, but let me. I'm going to let you know when you try to download and run certain games, it's not going to work. So like and once again, this is my Battlefield 6 experience.
Is that an EA problem?
No, I think it was. Let's actually get into it. So I'm trying to figure out, okay, how do I update this? Like where do I go to update any of this? And inside of the Xbox experience, because it's the Xbox app, it's just the Xbox app. It doesn't give you additional functionality that you would want from the thing. So I'm like, okay, what am I supposed to do here? At some point I end up opening up Armory Crate, and when I opened up Armory Crate, the Armory Crate SE, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's it starts out with like a couple updates that I need to do with Armory Crate SE. I'm thinking that I'm good. Try to boot up Battlefield 6 again, still freaks out. So I'm like, okay, go open up Windows Update, because there's a way for you to like get into the Windows Store via the full screen experience. I open that up. I go into my it's like, hey, we need you to sign in. I was like, oh, maybe that was the reason why, because the Windows Store sign in is for some strange reason separate. So I press a couple buttons, it already has the authentication, it goes through. Great. I do all the updates via Windows, via the Microsoft Store, and I'm like, okay, maybe now I can run Battlefield 6. I try to boot it up, still not working. Okay, so I go back into Armory Crate, go inside of the update center of Armory Crate, and then I start downloading, like updating everything.
Updates from there as well, yes, which are probably what, drivers and firmware drivers, right?
A bunch of stuff, right? But in the middle of doing this, the Windows Store, the Microsoft Store is just kind of like, hey,
also updating stuff.
Yeah, we're also updating stuff, and we need some stuff. We need your permission in the background. So I do use the app switcher, really nice. Go back into the Microsoft Store, and it asked me for a couple questions. I'm like, all right, cool, we're good. Go back to Armory Crate, but I didn't go back to Armory Crate. Armory Crate switched back to itself.
Oh wow, it took attention. Okay,
it's flipped attention. For whatever app that I was in, Armory Crate was like, no, I need you to do this right now. So I'm gonna, even if I was playing a game, it was just like, no, I need you to do this. So what it was is there was some sort of pretty big update that I needed from Armory Crate, including a BIOS update. So it finished that, and it refused to allow me to continue on with what I was doing until I fully restarted the device. So I was like, fine, restarted the device. Took about 15 minutes to be able to do all the BIOS updates and everything else that it needed to do in the background. And as soon as I was back inside of the full screen experience, I clicked on Battlefield 6 and it worked perfectly fine. So outside of, I think that Microsoft needs to clean up the updating experience for users that just don't want to go through all of this. It needs to be easier. And I will say that even inside of the Xbox experience, there's a couple things here or there that just aren't perfect yet, and that they need to kind of work on. But outside the frustration that I had, the piece of hardware is a great piece of hardware. It's incredibly comfortable inside of my hand. It feels great. Yeah, battery life is
the flaps is good, right? The flaps is good.
Having 80 watt battery is incredible. And like, there's this thing has a lot to do to get to a perfect point for people who just don't want to do any of that stuff. But this has been, as somebody who's had handhelds before, and as somebody who got the Steam Deck as soon as it came out, like I was on that website trying to buy it just like everybody else. I got it like a couple weeks late, but outside of that, I was very early on. The Steam Deck had a lot of problems that were similar to this. So if Microsoft is taking this seriously and has the same projection as Valve did when it came to updating the software and making sure that it gets better, I'm very excited for what this has to hold for the future. But that's it for me.
One thing I will say, the mechanism does exist, because Kay, you'll remember a couple of months back, we saw that Microsoft, and this is just like, forget about gaming. In general, like from an IT perspective, Microsoft is now pushing that OEMs and as well as app developers, instead of updating their things through their own individual apps or through the Windows Store, they let Windows Update handle it, because Windows Update can schedule it and just update things in the background, and you never see these things. So the mechanism is there. It's like but the OEMs and developers need to take advantage of it. Yeah. All right, we got somebody here. We didn't.
Let's go to Boom. Well. Before we, yes, I want Boom to get his experience, but before we do that, shout out to the great Paris Lily. I sent the basketball out. I was like, hey, Paris, If you're bored, I know there are lots of reviews out there. I will put this out on Front Street. There are many reviews that we watched and all of this. Great reviews out there. I would say, and I think many in our Discord and our chat have agreed that Paris was one of the best ones.
I agree.
So shout out to you, good sir. Welcome.
Hey, well, good morning, and appreciate the kind words. I will not try to take up too much of your time. I just wanted to come here and just kind of clarify the update experience that I had. But I will say everything that Lucius just said was essentially what I said in the review, right? It's good, but there's still work to do on the Windows side. And as Kay, I think you may know from our Gamescom experience internally, they know this too.
Yes.
Oh yeah. This
well
is
aware
day
of
one.
this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So they will continue to iterate on this, because even when I had to go pick up mine and I was talking with the Xbox engineer, like I said, everything that Lucius is talking about with, I should never have to leave the Xbox experience to do anything, right? Unless I choose to. They know that. So they still have to tweak and curate and refine that so that all your update, because that was my number one question. I was like, what about updates? Am I going to be prompted for it? Do I have to go to the desktop? What's going to happen? How is all this going to happen seamlessly? They know, and they're still working on it. So the reason it took me 2 hours was because we had pre-release direct from the factory. There was no updates, nothing that came with the devices that we had. And they wanted to make sure everything that Lucius is talking about, you completely updated Armory Crate, you completely updated Windows 11. I did not have Steam installed, so I had to install Steam. I installed GeForce Now, like all the third-party digital app stores I had to manually install at the time. And I did have to flip to the desktop to do that. And they were very clear that this would not be the experience for most people when they got it, at launch day one. So it took 2 hours. I wanted to be as transparent as possible about that, because I had no clue what the day one experience was going to be for people. So I'm glad that it is not taking as long. But my whole thing with the handheld, just to summarize it super quick, is I really like it. It plays games great, but there's still quirks and things that they still need to do with Windows. Because, like, again, I keep going back to Lucius. Shout out to you. Steam may have had those problems when the Steam Deck initially came out, but Valve resolved them, and now it is the definitive experience on handheld. So that's why I said my personal review, the review I did on Kind of Funny, because Tim put me on the spot. If you had to choose, which one are you getting? I would still prefer the Steam Deck. That's just me. I know that's not for everybody. I think Windows can get there. I think it's getting close, but there's still, because the advantage that Windows will have is the fact that I can have multiple digital stores on there, anti-cheat games, all of that. They're getting close. They just, like I said, they just got to get over that finish line, which personally I think won't be until some point in 2026. And then now we can start having a real conversation about which one do you prefer, Steam Deck or the Windows experience, because obviously there's going to be multiple variants of hardware that's going to be out there. So I like it. My only thing is $1,000 is a lot to ask of people to spend. I'm sure a lot of people in this chat and on this panel, hey, we might have the disposable income. You went and bought it. That's fine. But not everyone can do that.
The boy did not.
Yeah. So I feel I have the responsibility as a reviewer. I'm not just going to, go get it. No, I'm going to give you the pluses and minuses on it. And I'm going to make it very aware that this is a lot of freaking money to spend. So choose wisely when it comes to that. So my advice was, if you already have a handheld that you are happy with, it is very hard for me to tell you to go out and spend $1,000 on this thing. I did not get a chance to review the Xbox Ally, the white variant. So I don't know performance on that. I've seen obviously reviews and stuff now, but that
handheld Jesus says it's no good. Carrie says it's no bueno, and you got to go with handheld Jesus. What are you going to do?
Exactly. He's the man on that stuff. So right. And matter of fact, I think he put Bazite on it as well. I'm very curious to hear his thoughts about that. He said he was going to make a video. So, we're in a not a weird spot, but we're in an early stage of it. And I understand the criticisms of, well, you didn't launch it perfect, and why am I getting that? My advice, wait then. Don't get it now. Yeah. Wait Wait, see what the changes are going to be. See what the updates are going to look like. They know they can't fumble this because it
can only get better with time.
Yeah. And obviously, like I said, you talk to Jason Ronald, talk to Jason Ronald. They know. They know they gotta refine this. They got to continue to work on it. And if anything, I do look forward to 2026 and beyond to see what this device is going to look like.
Absolutely. Shout out to you.
So
yeah, go ahead.
No. I want Boom to go ahead. The one thing I will say, this is just as a person who's been following Microsoft and Windows Phone all these years. As Microsoft, the thing about Windows is weird because so many people rely on it. You don't get many chances to do major overhauls to Windows. And so you're going to see very iterative things in Windows until you have like a major Windows bump, like a Windows 12 or whatever. Right. That's just
you get good stuff on the margins. And then when they have the big name drop, the next iteration, then you see that big UI change.
That's really
yes.
Yeah. So I think they're just going to refine things in the short term. But whenever you see Windows 12, I would imagine that's where you'll see the larger changes.
Can I say one other thing? Because I'm just going to drop out because I don't want to derail your whole conversation. But I do want to say this, and maybe you've already said it or you're going to say it. You also have to remember, this is your first look at the next generation of Xbox. You know, it's not perfect now. Look, for better or worse, they are using this device and updating Windows to basically refine what you're going to see in probably 2 years with the next Xbox, because you just got to look at what the UI is going to look like. I'm telling you now, this is what they're going to do. So in that respect, hey, do what you got to do. I do think, question I have. For you that got it day one, your Xbox app, you don't have to be in the insider, do you? On the Xbox app?
I do not believe so.
No, I don't think so, because I'm not a part of the insider program, and
that was the other thing. Yeah. They had made sure that I was already an insider, but they made sure all of us that got it early were an insider to be able to take advantage of that stuff.
I am an insider,
so
it already says that I'm an insider just because I've signed up on.
It follows your account wherever you go to any device.
Yeah, I'm also an insider, so it says that on the top of mine as well.
Yeah, I was curious for someone that wasn't an insider, were you prompted to, you had to opt in or anything? So good. That says that this device is smart enough to know that you're on the Ally X. You don't need to be an insider. We're going to give you all the benefits of it. That's good to hear. But again, I'm just going to drop out. Like I said, I'm just listening. Well, I just wanted to clarify.
Before you go, I'm gonna get the super chats and stuff, and I let Boom speak. But Danny Passion Official had $5, and he asked the question: Paris, is Xbox dead? What up, Boom? I'll let you leave and answer that question.
Hey, if you listen to social media, Xbox been dead for a long time, right? And to be clear, I purposely troll this whenever I'm in a chat, because that's how ridiculous
all the time.
That is how ridiculous it is. It's just so ridiculous to say. So it's like make fun of the people that try to weaponize this into some nonsense.
I want to say one thing before you go, and I'm saying this so you can hear it, Paris, but this is a tee up to Boom. The most hilarious thing to me this week has been is it an Xbox conversation? And the thing is, what it is not is an Xbox Series console.
Correct.
Nor have they ever called it an Xbox Series.
Correct. Again.
What it is an Xbox PC handheld. It is still an Xbox device. But the people who are so strict about language, funny enough, always leave out when they say it's not an Xbox, they mean it's not an Xbox console. So they're leaving out.
I have to comment on that before I go.
Yes.
So and Boom, I know you're patiently waiting, so I apologize.
That's all right.
But
that's all right.
I obviously have said in my review, I literally kicked it off. Is this an Xbox? No, it is a Windows 11 PC handheld. From my point of view on that is, that's fine. They have. Look, when their initial messaging came out, I could understand people that were being a little disingenuous, that there was some confusion. But since Gamescom, they have been crystal clear about this being a PC handheld and it plays PC games, but you can access the rest of your Xbox library that is not play anywhere enabled via cloud streaming. I have done it. It works. So people, they're just trying to weaponize this into nonsense. We know that. But again, this is the vision of where their hardware is headed. We all know the next Xbox is going to be some kind of PC hybrid variant, right? This is the testing of that.
Yes.
This is where we're going, and it's fine. It plays games. Why do you care if you're going into semantics about, well, I can't play, I don't know, Halo Master Chief Collection on it. Big deal. They're not saying you can. Well, go ahead. Sorry.
I know why this happened. I know why we're here. I know why this discussion is so stupid. It is because, and I am old enough to remember, like Pepperidge Farm, when the same people that are saying this is not an Xbox were the same people saying if there is an Xbox device, branded or not, PlayStation will block their games from playing on it. That didn't happen, and so now they can't call it an Xbox. I'm telling you, that is what's happening. But
and let me say this, and I'm gonna make my graceful exit as I say this. Those same people, they're all subscribed to Game Pass.
And yes, they are, sir. There you go. Talk that talk.
All right, Boom.
Shout
The
out
floor
to
is yours.
personally.
We did too much talking, and you don't got a lot of time.
Well, you listen, it's fine. First of all, Paris, thanks so much for popping in, brother, of course, and thank you for giving me the floor. I'll keep it short and sweet. I'm happy to be here to support. Obviously, the goal is to talk about the handheld, but ultimately, I just want to keep pushing the narrative of getting K and the channel to 3K. I think 5 or 6 people away, folks. We got to do it. We can do it live on the air. Again, this is someone that's here every Saturday, runs an incredible website in the gaming circle. He also has Discord, which is apparently like a slobber knocker pretty much every day of the week. And that's what I want to talk about first is, folks, if you're not subscribed, please, let's get this man to 3K live on the air. I would greatly appreciate it, and I'm sure he would.
Thank you.
But why I'm happy to be here is I think that when you look at the panel, and this is including Paris, I'm definitely the guy that's on the out. Not because I'm a caveman and don't understand technology, but I'm also at my core, and have been since 78 when I first played the Atari 2600, have been a console guy. I've always been a console gamer. So as much as I, from the outside, look at the MSI Claw and the Lenovo devices and the Steam Deck, and of course I have a ROG, the original launch ROG or ROG. I like them from a conceptual point of view, but I don't really enjoy the usage of it, if that makes any sense, because it's a little bit over the mohawk. And I'm more of a plug and play kind of a guy. Like when I go to play, like for instance, I woke up at 1 a.m. As you know, I'm reviewing The Outer Worlds 2. The game has its hooks in me, so I stayed up to 3:30. And all I did was press a button, start it up, and go. That's the experience that I want from a handheld. And first and foremost, almost from inception, when you take this thing out of its packaging, and Lucius had it perfectly, it just feels perfect. It's not too heavy, but the way the economics of it all, where it fits in your hand, you literally just feel it. If you are an Xbox gamer, if you are an Xbox console gamer, and you, like me, think the Elite controller and their series controllers are the best in the business, it's going to feel supernatural in your hands. And I don't mean spooky. I mean actually just natural in your hands. It just feels right. It's literally, and as simplistic as I can make it, it's a controller cut in half with a 7-inch screen. Now, I mean, I don't think you can get any better. So the weight is perfect. The way it feels, the button setup, the analogs, everything feels really natural and good. How I've actually played it, yeah, of course I played it in handheld mode. For crying out loud, it's a handheld. But how I have, and again, I use myself as a test case here. How I use the Switch 2 is docked, but docked in a way where the screen is visible, and I play using their controller, their Pro controller. I put it up. When Mrs. Boom and I, like we were this morning, she was on the main screen, the 65-inch, playing Animal Crossing, and I'm sitting right next to her. And right next to me is this dock with the Switch 2 and a controller, and I'm going. And when I did my initial, unboxing, which, by the way, shout out to the community, 2,100 views so far, and I don't usually get those kind of views for unboxing, so that was pretty cool. It has been sitting next to me. I've been playing. I played Keeper, which I gotta tell you, it's Double Fine's absolute finest game. Honestly, no, I haven't spent a lot of time. I simply got a couple of minutes into it because I wanted to kind of just test different things. I'm going to spend the rest of today playing that game. I don't know if I'm going to beat it in a day or not, but I saw some of the reviews, and it is exactly what is
moving
amazing.
art.
Yes, it's moving art.
Basically.
Yeah, pretty much. I've watched videos. I read the review from John and Xbox Evercruise. Shout out to them. Phenomenally written up. Jed's Corden did a really good. Windows Central did a really good review on it as well. But getting back to the actual device, I've downloaded Black Ops 6. I haven't played it yet. It's downloaded, ready to go. I'm hoping at some point that I don't have a driver situation because, like Lucius was saying, I don't want that Windows experience. I don't want to have to do all of that. Do I know how to do it? Sure. I don't want to. So I'm hoping that I don't have to. But I've played the that one that you talked about, X Pit something or other.
Ball X Pit.
Yeah, Ball X Pit.
Yeah.
And I only knew about that. Again, shout out to Xbox Era. I read their review. I'm like, oh, that looks really good. They said Vampire Survivors with
super
pinball.
addictive.
Holy freaking cow. So I played that. I played Vampire Survivors. I played a few other games. And I have a lot of memory left. I have a lot of stuff to download. But my experience for me personally, everything just works. And some of the things that I did, like getting into the Armory crate and messing with some settings. Now, of course, when I'm not sure, I ask Kay. But getting there, no problem.
Oh, by the way, thank you guys. We have hit 3,000 subscribers.
Yes!
There we go.
That's what I am talking about, ladies and gentlemen.
Boomstick, just save yourself some headache. Sometime today, boot up Armory Crate, go to the update system, press update, walk away for 20 minutes, come back, and then it's going to ask you to restart it, walk away for another 10 minutes, come back, and then you'll be in a much better situation.
Great recommendation.
I'll definitely do that. Yeah,
I want to give you guys a pro tip.
Thank you all. Thank you. 3,000 people in the chat, very happy. Thank you so much. You guys, you have no idea.
I think we should give away a game on that note.
We should, yes.
Celebration. And while you figure that out, I just want to say this pro tip for guys that have the full screen experience. What I'm doing, I have obviously you've got the Xbox button here, but maybe you've got an existing Ally. This works too. You've got the Xbox button, which will bring up your game bar. And if you hold it, it will bring up the task switcher, right? Now, what I do, I use the back button so I don't have to hold anything to get to the task.
Keep holding it and it'll do it
faster. You don't even have to hold it. You just press it. You can set it up to task viewer. If you go in Armory Crate and assign the back buttons, that's how you assign the extra buttons in the back. I've got this one brings up task switcher and this one brings up game bar. It's just easier because my fat fingers are always. I think these are too close together. By the way, these buttons. I'm always reaching for it and then touching something else by mistake. But back here,
I want to ask you about that. By the way, about the top button and the bottom button. They have replaced their buttons with the Xbox buttons. My God. Is that blasphemy, or you guys are okay with it?
Not blasphemy, but if you have muscle memory for this device,
I would think, you're in hell right now.
You have to understand. I was using this every day for a year and a half.
Yeah.
My fingers will go to the top button, and now
easily.
I'm ending up.
It's just by default, right?
So,
yeah.
I have the opposite problem. I'm coming from from just like playing on my controller, my Xbox controller, and now there's two extra buttons. So whereas there's an I would typically
neither of which you need, by the way.
Yeah, when I would typically go up, press the with my right hand, press the start button, and now I'm pressing some sort of like either Armory Crate or something, and I'm like, oh my god, and I keep accidentally pressing them. I'll get used to it, but man, I have to remember the bottom 2 buttons are the start and select that I want.
Yes.
Yeah, but again, if you have the Xbox button, you don't need those, and it's overkill. But because my muscle memory is where it is, and I was using the 2 back buttons for these features on this guy, the old guy, I just put it back so that I could. I know I have the Xbox button here, but I'm using the back button to bring up the game bar.
Jeez, okay.
I'm using the right one.
Okay.
By the way, the super chats are getting out. You let those get out of control.
That's what I said.
You are gonna have to. You know what it is? I think the super chats are trying to get you enough so that you can justify getting an Xbox Ally. Who knows?
Shut your face.
We
Anyway.
actually saw that happen with Dirk Riggedy. Shout out to this amazing community, man. Dirk Riggedy was saying that he wanted it, but he had bought his daughter a washer and dryer from Best Buy, and he's like, I'm going to pay that off. And don't you know, this ridiculously amazing community stepped up, and I think they gave him enough to buy one, bro.
He got it. He has a video.
Awesome.
He got it. Listen,
That's awesome.
Dirt is doing the Lord's work.
He is. He's an amazing creator. I love Dirt.
And he never folded. He acknowledged.
He held the line, some would say.
It's not even holding the line because he's very like let me just give Dirt his flowers real quick, right?
Yeah.
He fully you have those like console warriors that try to pretend that's not what they're doing.
Oh, you mean the neutralists of the world?
He will literally tell you this is a console war channel. I'm having fun with it. We don't get personal, and that's just what we do. And I'm highlighting the stupid stuff that people say, right? And he's never shied away from that's what it is, and he didn't like flip out and say he's changing sides and doing all of this other stuff. Shout out to Dirt, man of conviction. And by the way, one of the best editors in the business. When he puts his videos out, and
fantastic.
And the way he cuts those videos up, fantastic work.
Indeed.
So
before we do
I don't even know if Dirt is listening, but if
we're gonna kind of make sure he is. Shout out to Dirt.
Somebody go give Dirt his flowers.
That's right. Before we continue, in the chat right now, type Absalom. That's how you type it right there in the chat for a chance to win. We already have 4 entries now. Come on. If you want a chance to augment your library, whether it be your new Ally X or something else, this game is literally cracked. We will talk about it soon enough. You will understand why it is exciting that you get a copy of this game. If you don't know what we're talking about, it's called Absalom. Put it in the chat right now. I will draw a winner in a few minutes.
Now
let's catch this one super chats. Mr. Boomstick, before we do so, you were saying
before, because I got to bounce, but I just kind of want to just close out what I was saying. Look, there are a couple of caveats here before I break out.
Please.
This is an expensive investment. This is $1,000, $1,083 after tax. Right?
Oof.
It's not for everyone. And I will tell you, like Everborn and even Paris said, if you are someone that is on the fence of getting a handheld, you might want to wait for it to be a little cheaper. It will eventually go down in price, but you might also want to wait for all of the kinks to be worked out. Now, so far, I have had no problem. My only one issue is that it signed me into the Microsoft Store, and somehow the Microsoft Store did not have my Game Pass up to date for some reason. So it was telling me I didn't have Game Pass, and I'm like, what is happening? So I wound up having to switch to my Xbox account. And it says, "Do you want which account do you want to use?" I'm like, "Well, I'd like to use the Xbox one." And I switched it over. Now it's no problem. All my games are there. All my saves are there. My 2028 Game Pass thing is there. It's up to date. That was the only little hiccup that I had. But since then, which took about 5 minutes to fix, I've had no problems. I will say that there are a couple of ways, and again, I'm just being a consumer. I'm being a person that puts myself out there. If you don't, and I didn't take $1,100 out of the house fund. As everyone knows, Mrs. Boom and I are saving for our first home. I would have not done that for this device. I just would not have done that. I opened up a Best Buy card. It's had a zero balance for months because I don't usually buy anything from them. And I waited specifically for this. I bought it. I'm going to pay it off a couple of $100 per month until it's mine. That if you don't have the spendable, and we're in 2025, folks. And again, this is coming from someone who's retired, who uses his pension to run a household. I don't have the $1,100 just lying under the couch or the cushions. So I had to do it the smart way. That might be the way you want to try and do it. There are all sorts of places like a firm, for instance. So give you 12 months to pay it off with very little interest. So if you are, again, your finances. I'm not going to speak about that. But I do want to just close out by saying, Everborn.
No, really quickly, I see Zach Riley saying I'm texting. You know why I'm texting? Because shout out to audience member Sycamore, who has gifted another code for Absalom.
Awesome, dude.
Nice.
To me, and he sent it to me in the text, and I sent it to you in the DMK. So I was actually working, Zach Riley.
And Zach Riley, you're not getting that code because you were calling them out. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
Don't do my man like that. Don't do him like that.
Shout out to Zach Riley.
So, I mean, just look, in quick closing, I'm going to say this and I said it in my unboxing video. When you hear the question or you hear someone that's trying to be disingenuous about who is this thing for or who are these handhelds for, they really are for people like Mr. Boomstick who are console gamers. It's where I play. I can afford a big rig, a pre-built, which is probably the way I would go. I just don't want that kind of gaming life. I don't have enough time in the day to play games sometimes because of all the social media work and the content that I'm producing. When I do have time, I just want to play a game. So far, the Xbox Ally X for me has been a pick up, start, and play device. Now, is it always going to work perfect? I don't know. And when I have a problem, you can rest assured that I will come out there on Front Street and let you know. So far, in the couple of days of owning this, I've had an amazing experience where, just like my Switch 2, it's in the the official ROG dock that Everborn was showing off. I bought the same one. It's plugged into the wall. I leave the dongle plugged, so when it's in, I'm playing handheld. Great. If I want to dock it, I plug it in. It's being charged. The one thing that works seamlessly is getting a controller. The minute I press for instance, I got the Outer Worlds 2 controller. Now, I didn't get sent that by Microsoft. I bought it because I like controllers. I pressed the button for 5 seconds. It popped up on the screen. Do you want to connect this controller? And I just went. It worked seamlessly. So every game that I've played so far, I've had a good time. I've played it there. I've stopped it. I shut the system down. I went back to my console. No problem. No fuss, no muss. So for the console gamer, for the Xbox Game Pass subscriber, this is a great device. All I say is just please do your finances. Don't follow trends. If you can afford it and you want to do a payment plan like I'm doing, that's what you should do. If you want to wait for the kinks to be rolled out, you can do that as well. I think that this is a really excellent glimpse into the future of what the next pair of Xbox consoles are going to be. The handheld that there's rumored to be a dockable device and the box underneath your TV. I think that when you see they have 2 years ahead of them before they release these consoles. Again, this is all rumors. 2027, I would imagine holiday. They like those November dates, so it could be November of 27. And what this console or these, let me say that. Let me rephrase that. These pair of handhelds are going to do are pave the way for what we are going to be
careful,
getting.
Boom. The nomenclature will come after you.
They're going to come for you.
I had to walk back from the plank because the sharks are circling, so I had to make sure I was
That's right.
And remember their name, the Nomenclature Police.
Oh, man.
Oh, my goodness.
Boom, before you go, because I know your time is limited, and thanks to Mrs. Boom for having us, for allowing us to have Mr. Boomstick for just a little bit on his weekend. But before you go, there's a super chat here specifically for you.
I saw it. So I'll read it because he's my brother, and yes, he's my real brother. Yes, he's African American, folks. So if you didn't know, yes, that's my brother. He says, "Good morning, folks. Enjoy your $1,000 paperweight. Boom, you're not touching this thing in a month. Shenanigans of the highest caliber. No hate, just jokes." This is my brother, ladies and gentlemen. I love him very much, but sometimes I want to punch him in the face.
Every time Neo Mental makes himself known on the internet, I'm like, boom, y'all need a show. I need to hear more from him. He is hilarious.
You know what? I would. He's been. Well, we get together once a year at least for the Game of the Year podcast, which you really like. It's me and my two.
Oh, yeah,
other friends.
I love it. It's hilarious. It's so good.
And we have a lot of fun with it. But yeah, I love that man. But listen.
Console handheld console PC. It's what it says on it.
So maybe the Sharks are gonna have to just eat.
Argue with your mama.
There you go. I love it. I love it. But listen, Lucius, always great to work with you, brother. Got to get you on the show, of course. Everborn and K-Sante, they're my brothers. They're my extended family.
Hey, boom! I'm coming through next Wednesday. We're gonna talk about this with the one.
Yeah. Well, I have like a week and a half under our belt. Yeah, so we're definitely gonna use that as an opportunity. Real quick, there's a really great Variety Sarah Bond article.
Yeah.
We're gonna be talking about that on Monday's show, and I've already started writing Tuesday's show. If you can believe it, by the end of the day, I'll have the 2 shows written, unless something really breaks that we have to.
Hardest working man in podcasting.
I have to do it, but I got to stay ahead of the game because I want to actually play games. But listen, I just want to say a big thank you to this chat. You guys and gals are amazing. Seeing Kay hit 3K is a really big deal. I'm glad I was a part of pushing that envelope because he's a good. I'm not going to say he's a great member of this community. He tries really hard to not use hate narratives to gain subs, likes, and clicks. And that's the way the business is.
Let me throw one more thing in there. Microsoft, you did this man dirty by not sending him an Xbox Ally X.
Oh, man.
So much coverage for you. Went flew to multiple places, had multiple videos up and running. You're out here sending it to people who have no idea what they're talking about, have never touched a handheld in their lives.
Yes. And people who don't like you sending
it to people who don't like you. Meanwhile, there's somebody who swims in those waters, who does everything that needs to be done, is knowledgeable about the subject, knows how to get inside of those places.
Y'all is wild right now.
Those things
and could give you actual
the truth
feedback.
Is the truth.
And that's all me.
No. Listen, but you know what's talk that talk, or it's like Dirt likes to say TTS. TTS.
Hey, listen, Boom. I want to say something before you go.
Yes, sir.
I would just like to give you, sir, your flowers because
Thank you, sir.
There's so many people in this content creation community that got their start on your show.
That's very kind of you to say,
including myself. I think including K-Sante as well.
Indeed, yes.
And you put us on Front Street and introduced us to your audience, and now we're over here hitting 3,000, whatever. And you didn't have to do that, and you did it not for anything other than the love of the community.
That's very kind of you to say, brother.
That cannot be said for a lot of people. I would say it for maybe you and Iron Lords and a handful of other people.
Yes.
Right?
Indeed.
But you put the work in every day. You approach this thing from a position of a true fan. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to Dirt and all of them. But you bleed green. You know what I mean? And that listen, it is better, in my opinion, to be known for what you love than being known for what you hate. And a lot of people have built their entire personas off the thing that they hate. So I wanted, since you're not here often, I just wanted to say
we will always stand with the great Boom.
First of all, brother, those are very kind words, and I appreciate the sentiment. Again, look, I said this, and I'll bounce out of here. My start to podcasting came the way of the graciousness of the mooch. I know that the show has changed considerably, and it's not the same show that I started out with. I started out working with and how it went down was I used to listen to Mooch and Crap, and I really enjoyed their show. They were Xbox guys at one point. I had a lot of fun. And I simply reached out to Mooch via DM, said, "Hey, listen, my bucket list checklist was I would love to get on a podcast and talk about gaming, and I just want to do it just one time." And he's like, "Yeah, sure, we have guests on, come on." And I got on, and he asked me, invited me back, and then the community found out who I was, and they were asking him, "Hey, you should make him a panel member." And I stayed there for a couple of years. And then, of course, I then moved on to my own now syndicated 5 days a week shows. This would not be possible without the ability to have put my voice out there. And I'm always going to be very, very grateful to Mooch for allowing that. So when I finally made my own channel, I made a promise publicly. I mean, if you go back and you look at the first video, which is just terrible, it's so awful. November 3rd, 2017 is the first Welcome to Double Barrel Gaming video. It's awful, and it's still up there if you want to watch it. I'm actually going to put it out there on the 8th anniversary, which is happening November 3rd. But I made a promise to this community that I would go out of my way to introduce new voices. And the one thing that has never stopped me from doing that was worrying about whether or not that I introduced to the community would somehow be bigger than me. And a perfect example of that is the unbelievable, they're all my brothers. That is the Iron Lords. I love those men more than anything. And the work that they have done, the leaps and bounds that they have made, is all the hard work, the grinding. Again, there was a time where they couldn't even get to 1,000. So I did a Saturday show with the Iron Lords, introducing. I don't remember what the show was called. It was an introduction to new people into the community, and now they're closing in on 25,000, which is the work that they've put in for it. So I have never feared, showing off somebody. Say, hey, listen to these people. They're amazing, and they get bigger. That's the way. Listen, anyone that's a creator, I wish more was like this. And again, this is not anybody in particular, nobody under the bus. I think, and this is just me personally, I think you have a responsibility as a creator to highlight the people that deserve it, that may not ever get it, because this content creation community is driven by hate narrative, and that is what gets clicks. And even though YouTube tells you don't do that, they reward them, and it's frustrating. So I am always going to introduce new people, and I will make it my business, even if they're 10 times higher than me in subs. I will continue to introduce new voices. So, gentlemen, thank you for the very kind words, the opportunity to hang out with everyone here. And of course, folks, game on whatever you enjoy gaming on. Like, again, we have to bring this back to the love and the joy of playing a game like Absalom, which, by the way, is freaking amazing. And not only did I buy it on Switch, I bought it on Steam. That's right, I'm a Steam buyer now, folks, because it is handheld. So how you like them apples?
There you go.
Lizzie, as they call it.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Oh, shout out to you.
Rodimus, for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. So for the amount of love that Mr. Boomstick put into the community, people felt as if there needed to be the equal amount of hate. Shout out to Famas.
Famas was bored, and you would know who Famas was if you're in the Discord.
Check the chat.
That's right.
Check the Discord. Oh boy. Well, all right. Well, before you go, Boom, thank you so much, man. You are a man among men. We appreciate you, sir. Thank you for lending your time and for spending some of your weekend with us. And we will see you probably very soon. Most likely.
Yes,
we'll talk
absolutely, gentlemen. We'll talk every morning anyway.
There's now a hashtag blame Boom going.
I saw that. Hashtag blame Boom for Famas.
Gentlemen, I'm probably going to jump out as well. I just wanted to ask
Okay.
everyone one last question and point out one small thing that I don't know if it just happened to me, but on my Xbox Ally X, the screen was automatically set to 720p rather than 1080p via Armory Crate. And the only reason why I noticed this is because when I switched to Steam Big Picture mode, there was like something. It seemed like something was cut off at the top and the bottom of the
Artifacting
screen.
or something.
Yeah, and then I was like, "What's going on?" So I thought about it, and I went into the Armory Crate quick settings, and I switched it to 1080p, and then it looked better. And I was like, "Oh, I don't know why they would set this automatically to 720p."
I have to. Now I'm going to have to check. I'm going to go look at it because the screen looked fine, but I'm going to look.
Like I said, I didn't notice it until I went to Steam Big Picture mode, and there was something cut off at the top and the bottom. Could have been something that only happened to me, but just wanted to point it out. And everyone, I wanted to ask, you bought this case. How good is the case? Because I'm thinking about buying it too.
Fantastic! It is.
It's really good.
Levels of I'm gonna get it, but we have a guest. Let me go get it. I'm gonna show it to you real quick. Lucius, stay here for 1 second. Kay, please introduce VG, the one and only.
Absolutely, the one and only.
Lord's work.
VG Fight School in the house.
Hey.
What's going on, VG?
Have a good day, everybody. VG, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
I'm good, sir. I'm good, Mr. Boomstick. Thank you.
All right, we'll be talking, guys.
Later. Right. Shout out to VG Fight School for jumping in. What's going on, VG? How you been, man?
I'm good, man. Thanks for the invite, guys. I really appreciate it. How are you?
Oh, wow, we are good. We are happy to have you here. Thank you for letting your voice as I guess it's the day of Xbox Ally. We're talking all about it. Those who are lucky enough to purchase it. Now we'll talk about why I didn't purchase it soon. I did not purchase it. I didn't do it. We'll talk about it. Before we do though, I got to catch up on some super chats because they are growing exponentially, and I don't want that to become too much of a problem. First off, though, here's some names because we need to do that. If you are in this list, you have won yourself a copy of Absalom. You have 24 hours to hunt me down. That would be under Discord. That'd be under X. In the DM, say, hey, I'm the one who won. You prove it to me, and you will be getting a copy of Absalom. And that is for James Kofi and what is it? Our Arcade 4247. So James Kofi and Arcade 4247. If you hear me, you have 24 hours to please contact me in them DMs, and you will get a copy of Absalom, which I will tell you is a fantastic game. Like fantastic. Anyway,
80s meets Golden Axe.
Yes,
that's all I gotta
and
say.
We'll get into it. We'll get into a bit more. We'll get into a bit more. But the game is fantastic. We've been playing it religiously, and if we have a chance to give it to people as a gift, then we definitely will. Especially if this is maybe your first Steam game for your new ally. Oh, that's excellent. So you have 24 hours. Reach out to me and we'll talk about it. Let me catch up on a couple super chats and we'll get back to this conversation. The great Soul Tech started this conversation early with a $2 super chat. He says, Legionnaires, stand up. Please like and subscribe. We appreciate y'all who are liking and subscribing. We just hit 3,000 subscribers, so salute to all y'all. Actually, 3,002. Thank you guys so much. So there's that. Then we have the great MJ Dark, who is here with a $5 super chat. He says, I hope Everborn finally installed the game from Epic Game Store on his Ally X. Boom, welcome to PCMR. Switch to still the best place to play Godzilla. No, those last two things aren't important. Yes.
You couldn't pay me to install something from the Epic Store, but please continue.
Wild. VG, we're going to have a conversation with our brother because he's a little weird, but that's neither here nor there. We're going to get to that one. All right.
Gentlemen, get to that one. Say an 80-watt battery is a great thing.
Yes. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So,
it'll last you.
Lucius, I know we don't have you for a long time, so I'm just showing off the case.
Yeah.
So it is as durable if you've seen the Steam Deck case. This is a $70 case, which is crazy.
Yeah, it's a little much, man.
I mean, to be fair, like I bought things for my Switch 2. That's around the price of accessories nowadays.
I get it. Like my Switch 2 case was like $50 or whatever. What I like about this, aside from the troll in the back, that was enough for me to buy it. We'll just once again, this is an Xbox case.
Fantastic.
I was joking with Doc Dark because he got the case as well, and I was like, well, actually, it's not an Xbox case. It's an it's an ROG Ally case with Xbox branding, and I feel bad for the people that spend $70 and try to go home and their console doesn't fit in it.
That is fantastic.
This is the
you guys just gonna keep doing that, right? This is what y'all gonna keep doing. You're gonna keep doing
This is my favorite thing about it.
Mm-hmm.
It has a separate Velcro bag
Ooh.
to hold the charger.
The extras.
Whatnot,
okay.
Right.
Okay.
And so, and it doesn't go anywhere. It's good.
So
Velcro.
in order to keep the case itself from being a little too bulky, they give you the extra little baggie that the snacks on top of.
The Steam Deck doesn't even do that for you, right? The Steam Deck like fits perfectly. It's waterproof, hard case, fantastic. But I still think at $1,000 this should have came with it.
I will share this with you real quick.
That is my
funny enough, as y'all know, I get review copies of things, product and software. In this case, Amazon sent me this thinking I would have an Ally because, they think I'll have an Ally. I did not get the Ally.
No, the algorithm knows you. You're going to have one.
You know what's crazy?
This is what they sent me.
The algorithm knows you. The community were messaging you. They knew you. Somehow Microsoft.
Oh, no. Check this out. Check this out. Stop the slander. I'm trying to say something.
Crazy, bro.
If you don't buy the $80 case, this is $26. And it also, it doesn't do the whole separate thing. It has it all in one, so it's probably far more bulkier. But it does do the whole. Let me show you. It does this part where it separates the inside of the case, specifically for the Ally. So it has the molding of the Ally. Pretty cool. It has not arrived yet. It probably will. And when it does, I'll talk to one of my brothers who owns it and see if they want it, and we'll report back. But it is like $26 compared to $70. If you want.
Yeah, this was my previous favorite case from Tom Talk. It's like a slim hard case. Doesn't hold the charger, but very form-fitting, and it fits the OG Ally and the Ally X.
I feel like with JVC over here, this is a beautiful case, and it only costs you this.
No, I don't have the manicure to be JVC. All right, I'm gonna. Okay, let's.
We still got some more super chats to go. We have a bunch.
I'm gonna pay Pig Up and pay for the $70 case.
Yeah, there you go. That's right.
I'm happy with it.
I will become an audience member now. You guys have a great one. I need to.
I'm sure you'll want to come back after one conversation we want to have, but I'll leave you to decide.
And I promise I won't bring up Avowed and that damn Rob.
Listen, are you guys going to talk about Pokemon? That'd be the only thing that I'd actually want to talk about.
Yeah, so let's get through the super chats because there's a discussion, a very important discussion I want to have with VG.
Okay. So let's get to the super chats. Well, D. 487 would have found us. He just says boomstick. I'm sure he's watching. Shout out to you. Thank you for your support. And then we have Hollywood Rules, who's been a member for 7 months, and he says, "Good morning, Graybeards. Can't wait to hear the healthy discourse. Get him, Everborn. Good to see the fellow NYPD retiree boomstick on Avengers Uniting. Fantastic, man. It's always awesome to have him here, and it's always awesome to have you here to support us. We appreciate you. And of course, Erodimus with a $5 super chat. Erodimus is a great member of our Discord. He says, "Good morning, gents. I heard RXA
investor extraordinaire."
Oh yeah, yes he is. Yes, he is.
That's a Discord inside joke. But if you're not in the Discord, you wouldn't know. But that's your problem.
Has the worst user device. Has the worst user device to set up. It takes up to 12 hours to update the BIOS in every driver. Soccer moms will faint. Damn.
I see what you did there. I see what you did there, Erodimus.
BT Maverick 707, who's been a member for 8 months. He says, "Subscribe for that 3K Asante knowledge and stay in for that Everborn, just realizing he tapped himself inside a PC Game Pass app. Xbox Ally X rant. Keeper is fire." Thank you, sir. That was a good one. That was well constructed too. I appreciate that. And then Hollywood Rules is back with a $2 super chat. He says, "Just subscribe and join the Gray Beard experience." Yes, us seasoned gamers.
Wait a minute, Hollywood Rules. You've been here every week and you wasn't subscribed this whole time.
Hey man, we're not gonna hate on the man.
No. I want to have this discussion with Hollywood Rules right now, sir. What have you been doing this whole time? You support us every week with fantastic observation and comments, and you was never subscribed. God.
On that note, MJ Dark with a $2 super chat. He says, "Lon, The Ally get. Oh no. This is an inside joke that I wish Lon was here to retort to, because that's a sick burn. Oh, that's a sick. He asked if the Ally got too hot. Did he use mittens? That is. I'm sorry. If you know, you know. That was cold blooded. Anyway, Texas. What if I was chat? He says, salute GCP panel and chat. Play Keeper. It's a keeper. I see what you did there. And enjoy it on your new Xbox Allies. Have a great gaming Saturday, everyone. One weird thing I will say, which all you Ally users will not have a problem with. If you are playing Keeper on a handheld that has a default portrait display, it's going to be a problem for you. Just so you know. I tried that on the Legion Go. Doesn't play well at all. Had to do some tweaking and twerking to get it to work.
But who still has a portrait display on a handheld?
Sir,
That's troglodyte behavior, sir.
People who have been part of the handheld environment since before it became part of Gen Pop. We used to have to deal with portrait displays. It is what it is. Let's keep it moving.
Well, it's time to update. How about that?
Oh no, I have multiple handhelds, so if it doesn't work here, it works there. Anyway, we have the great Sycamore with a $10 super chat. And by the way, thank you to Sycamore again for providing an additional code for Absalom. So thank you, brother. And he also provides a $10 super chat. And he says, I would like to say that the setup processes down the line could be longer due to Windows updates, which is kind of true. For launch, it's good. It's a good start. What about 6 months down the line? We shall wait and see. Honestly, no cap. I'm talking about the puppet for those who know. I think they've put their best foot forward. Microsoft has, and is really trying to do their best to address some things. So 6 months down the line, much like Steam, I expect it to be better than it is now. And if it's not, the pitchforks will be here and we'll be talking about it. So shout out to you. And then we have Dr. Drydo with the $5 super chat, and he asked a genuine question. He asked, if you leave the full screen experience and enter desktop mode and then go back to the full screen experience, do you lose resource benefits of the full screen experience?
You will lose those resources and those benefits. You'll lose it until you restart, and they'll tell you that. It's not like it just happens in the dark.
Yeah. He's asking, it's the answer directly. It's a 2-option thing. You are asked when you're going back into the full screen experience from the desktop, do you want to do the proper way, which is a restart? Then you gain all your full screen experience. You gain all the resources you lost. But they also give you an option. I don't want to gain all the resources. I just want to get to the full screen experience right away. You'll get the full screen experience, but then you don't have those resource benefits. So you have the option to choose whenever you're switching to the full screen experience from the desktop, whether you want to or don't want to. Good question, though. Let's see.
By the way, I'm doing the screen share for the.
Okay.
So if anyone has any questions about the UI, we can try that. By the way, you can close the Xbox app.
Yeah, and then keep just Steam. Yes. Yeah. And that's all you got. It's Steam. Yes, indeed. Let's see.
VG, so let's
we'll just get through the super chats. There's a lot of super chats. Sorry, VG.
Apologies, VG.
Oh yeah, I'm playing Mortal Kombat, guys. I don't know what y'all are doing.
Oh, fantastic.
On my Xbox console, by the way. Thank you.
Oh, there
PC.
you go.
Careful, PC. Careful. Yeah. Hey, we have a name for him now. It is the nomenclature police.
No, so they're gonna come for you.
Let them come.
I called them the language Nazis, but like people, nomenclature police is better.
That wording is a little problematic these days. Yeah. The great Neo Mental, who is a member for 20 months, he just tweets, congrats. Thank you so much. Thank you. I know people have been helping me get to 3K. Thank you all so much for the continued support. I'm quite happy to be here. And then of course the great Infinite Umbra, who's been a member for 18 months as well. He says congrats on 3K fellas. And of course he put the Sonic face and then charge them more and then pay pigs. As we are.
Exactly.
Yes. And then
as they should and as we are.
As they should and as we are, indeed. And then Gamsley joins us. Oh, Gamsley. Another member of our Discord. Oh, Gamsley. We need to talk to Gamsley. Talk about Gamsley. Anyway, he joins and he provides a 10 Canadian super chat. He says, the journey to 4K begins. Congratulations. Thank you so much, man. We appreciate you, bro. Thank you. And the great Wow, I haven't chatted with him in a little bit. Silent Cypher. It's been a minute, brother. I hope you're doing well. He has a $10 super chat. He says, congrats on 3K, onward and upward, gentlemen. Thank you so much. I did hear he purchased himself an Xbox Ally X. I want to hear his experience with that too. One of these days we have to have him back on the show. It's been a minute.
VG, you're getting a little bit of smoke, but we'll come to this in a second. From Doc Dark.
Yeah, we're gonna get there. And then, of course, the great Soul Tech is also in here, always reminding people to please subscribe, share, and then, of course, he reminds us, Brokeback Charlie. Gonna leave that one alone.
This is why I never share anything.
The great Hargeet Shani with a $5 super chat. He says, lies. How can Xbox release a console, even two, when they're dead? Hashtag ponies know better than Sarah Bond. Hashtag another day Xbox died again. Wow. The hashtags get long and intricate. Okay. Salute to the great Hargeet.
So are the narrative.
Indeed. Max City Entertainment has also become a YouTube member. Thank you so much, for your support. We appreciate you, bro.
You see how much bullying works?
Oh, hey. Be nice.
We appreciate Max City.
Be nice. And the great Floodzilla, our representative of the Penguin contingency. He's here with a $2 super chat. He says, Lisa Su does it again. Long live AMD Z2.
Flood, they try to call Lisa Su a liar, and I don't know if you just you're just gonna take that.
And now Mac has also been a member for 8 months, and he says, shout out to VG. I enjoy you as my teacher, bro.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
There you go. Yes, we appreciate you. We appreciate you teaching all the community, because sometimes people need to learn. It is what it is. The great Pixelbit G with a $20 super chat. He's here and he says, the Xbox Ally seems to be the only handheld on PC that can use Xbox buttons to log in while using AR glasses. Nice. Also note, Hollywood is an OG Sega fan and wasn't subscribed. He also capped for Sewage Shark.
Sewage Shark, I think he said.
Yeah, Sewage Shark. Yeah, Sewage Sharks. Yeah.
Sega
Shout out to the great Pixelbit
FMV game.
We're almost at the end. 2 more. Then we have, of course, Gamsley with another 2 Canadian super chat. And he says, tell Sycamore he can upload the PFP on YouTube.
Picture. He doesn't have a profile picture. It's just the.
Oh, yeah. Leave Sycamore alone, man. Let the man live. And then Tarina Johnson has been a member for 16 months. He says, K Asante, out of your mouth, I spoke at 8K. Bro, 8K. One can only hope. We shall see. We'll get there. Now, I've also highlighted a few really choice, interesting comments that people have left that I'm gonna pepper through, and some of y'all will get some codes. We'll see what we do. But VG, let's chat with you for a little bit, sir.
Yes, sir. How's it going, yo?
I know you've been out here. You've been spreading the word. You know, you've been talking to the people. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
The game, the handheld came out, and you didn't purchase one, or did you?
Oh, I did.
What's your stat? You did.
I kept it under wraps. I didn't say
Okay.
anything about it. I walked up. In fact, I have a video where I actually was going to post it of me walking out of Best Buy and walking in and out to pick my own copy. And so very first experience, right? Walk into this Best Buy. We don't have one in our town anymore. It closed. So it was a big deal. Budget committee was like, yeah, I'm going to go make sure that this is what you spent money on. So budget committee came along with me. I was like, I'll buy you breakfast.
I love that. Budget committee. Oh Lord, that's a new one for the repertoire. Keep it moving. All right.
So,
I gotta make sure you're not spending this on cocaine and strippers.
Yep. Because y'all remember, I just got the ROG Ally X a few months ago, and so she was like, "What is this handheld madness? I can't see what you're, Because when I build a PC, you can see the PC, there's lights and everything, So it's like,
VG, let me fill you in on a secret. Now, Everborn's budget committee has a threshold, so you got to stay under the threshold. Otherwise, the budget committee comes out.
Yes. So anything under 1,000, I don't have to have a conversation.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Yo, we need to have a show about subliminal languages. Anyway, continue.
And so we make our way up there, and I walk in, and I just am like, let me go get this stuff. She walks around, she's looking. We start looking at appliances. You know how it is. You're grown, We walk in and it's right there, and we're like, "Ooh, look at this oven range! Ooh, look at this!" And so I'm like, "Man, hold on, let me get this thing I came here for." So I walk there.
How bad is it when you have to choose between a French door refrigerator and a handheld?
Dude, I'm telling you, man, your childlikeness and your adult, personas are colliding at that point, right? You're just like you're like, yeah, you're grown and you're still a kid on the inside. I walk up to the lady and I give her my ID and I said, "Yeah, I'm here to pick up something." So she scans it and the first thing she says is Xbox, and I was like, "Now, why would you call it an Xbox, man?" I didn't say that, but in my brain, I'm thinking, really, every so-called concern about the marketing of this thing died right there in front of me, and strengthened my resolve that the lady at Best Buy will call it an Xbox. Then she goes in and she comes out and she's like, "Oh, it's actually a lot smaller than I envisioned." So these Xboxes that are supposedly being pulled off of shelves, she remembers them. Oh, okay. And she knows that this other item is also an Xbox. And so I'm just laughing to myself thinking like we've had to kind of wade through a lot of different opinions, on this device and such. But I think one thing that's missing is the entire gaming community will now be accountable to themselves because they've always known about Xbox's PC enterprise. Now they have to deal with Xbox's PC hardware enterprise. And instead of them to actually, or maybe they're just not aware of how the branding is coming together and being cohesive in the Xbox ecosystem. So it's put everybody at odds, right? There are those who truly don't understand or who truly are, genuinely concerned that, okay, somebody might misinterpret something. But the reality is Xbox has always had its nomenclature very, broad, like Xbox One, Xbox Series X, Xbox Ally, Xbox Ally X. So if you notice, and the biggest conversation, I've been making videos about this the last few days, is people say things like GTA 6 is not going to come out on this thing. Like this thing can't play GTA 6. And I ask them, when did Rockstar ever announce to you anything other than PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S? Like, is there any marketing anywhere?
Hey, VG, I watched your video where you explained this. I wanted to add something to this point. I guess then the Xbox One is not an Xbox since GTA 6 isn't coming there.
That's basically it. And the PS4, we can start down this road and it starts to become this problem. That's just the first layer. The second layer, dude, I got a hornet's nest wrapped around my foot, wrapped around both feet. The second layer is, so you mean to tell me that, because the old ROG, and this one got me blocked last night. It got me blocked and almost got me cussed out. I said, so y'all mean to tell me that the old ROG exists and thereby this device cannot be an Xbox? So my secret sauce is the Legion Go S. And I'm like, so how does the Legion Go S render the Steam Deck, not the Steam Deck? Everybody loses their mind, starts blocking me, insulting me. Oh, there's I'm like, come on, guys. Hey, let's calm. No, nobody wants to calm down anymore. They're now yelling at me. They're throwing chairs, and I'm like dodging, and I'm like, yo. Because they cannot necessarily handle that they've now entered a realm where hardware is so ubiquitous, and we that have been keeping our pulse on it, we're very well aware of exactly what is going on here. And so that got me into trouble this weekend. But
Hey, VG.
Yes, sir.
Somebody under one of my threads says, you know how you know it's an Xbox? Because all the PlayStation guys hate it.
Oh, yeah, that's how you know, really, right?
That's pretty much what I've seen.
They've never been in anybody's mention under a Legion Go 2 or MSI Claw or any other PC handheld. This is the one where they can't breathe and they clutch the pearls, gnash the teeth, and render the garments. As soon as this device gets mentioned,
dude, it was. I mean, yesterday, Yoshida-san, I sent you that tweet, right?
Yeah.
I saw his post. I was like, man, I have got to actually say this. Like, I just could not help myself because it is what it is. It's an Xbox PC. If Xbox had not partnered with Asus, we would still have the exact same problem in terms of people, genuinely in some cases, making sure that everyone is informed or questioning whether this is informing people correctly. and would still have bad faith actors. In fact, I'm already seeing detractors, I won't say they're bad faith, telling you about how the performance is not as good as the Nintendo Switch, but in their descriptions, they're calling it an Xbox, because at every failure, Xbox has to own it. At every success, it can be Xbox. They have to actually, that's how the transaction goes. What is that Xbox is doing? Xbox is about to win. No, we can't let that happen. But Xbox is failing here. By all means, here, we attribute the failure to Xbox. And when you see that paradigm, and I've been taking screenshots because, we're going to have to keep this so that they don't go back and revert, because wins will come. This is PC. W's are going to be showing up very soon. And as someone who's been in PC, you already know, we're starting to see it. People are now starting to break out the full-fledged dynamic of what a PC is. And this device is now a...
real quick, VG, I really wanted to touch on that a little bit, because people would talk that, the back and forth. There's been a lot of Steam OS comparison to what Microsoft is doing here, and it's an apt comparison, I think. But that part you just described, the wins, the what will come and people will realize, I think that has been, it's a little bit understated, because they released a thing recently that said, oh well, this amount of games is playable or whatever, right? And people think about that in the paradigm of Steam OS, this is as much that's playable, but it's not. And I think Microsoft themselves are also doing their consumers a disservice by not explaining exactly what they mean when they say that. Because on the Steam OS side, when they first started, they said 300 was playable. It was literally 300 that was playable. Some of them were playable, but you had to discover that for yourself. You barely had many playable because Proton hadn't been matured to a point where it was actually playing those games. You really could not play many of those games there. On the Xbox side, on the Windows, like Microsoft Xbox app side, frankly, any game that is x86 playable is playable there. Any game, writ large, whether Microsoft has anything to do with it or not. Right? Yeah, it's the only difference is, Prototype, that old game. Can you play it on the hardware? They will say it's not playable, but you can go download it on GOG and install and hit play, and it will work. Anything is playable on this device.
This is an excellent point that you make, because not every game in your Steam library works on the Steam Deck. Can it not be? Does that mean it's not a Steam Deck now?
This is
the problem. This is what we're doing right now, VG. We are arguing with fools. And we are getting,
when you do that, what ends up happening, right? You become the fool.
Every one of these arguments is so stupid, and then we are trying to address them as though they were genuine arguments to begin with. I think we should just make fun of these people.
At some point, so here's the, like you said, there is that one person that's genuinely interested, and because I structure my content to be based on the viewers, opinions and needs, I will see, and I saw one yesterday out of nowhere. It's like, okay, I don't understand, exactly what all this is. Can you genuinely tell me exactly what I'm looking at with this device? And a lot of people in the comments were like, this is an Xbox PC. And they stated at number one, it will play every Xbox game that is available on PC. You can access it. Number two, it will remote play your games on your console, whether they be games that have play anywhere or not. You could just log into your console for convenience from your kitchen. Maybe you're smoking something at the grill and or you're grilling or whatever. You can just remotely play from there. Number three,
or you're grilling and smoking something.
Whatever it is you're doing. Some days it be like that, man. You're talking to a boy that lives in the Midwest, and so. And so, they explained everything and broke it down. And I think that's something that a lot of people are missing in the conversation, because there's a lot of noise. And I was so proud of the Xbox community on Twitter on that day, even though it resulted to a lot of, words being thrown. The gatekeeping of the narrative needs to be done by the Xbox users. Now, Microsoft can do explanations, but they got to tone down how much they go ahead and start telling everybody, go to Ubisoft Store, go to Steam, go to EA. So when they say you can more storefronts, there's some marketing that they don't have to spell everything out for you. In some cases they just gotta. That's all they gotta do within the scope of their own duty to promote Xbox as the primary platform that they care about. However, they're saying, with their teeth, closed, Sarah Bond is saying, young man, go get the, that's what she's putting right in front of you. She's giving you, and usually, and I think it's more like, Xbox has always been, in my opinion, the console platform where the custodialship of the platform is actually put in the hands of the gamer, which is weird that I'm saying this because this is what PC has always been about, right? Like we get the ownership of our own platform in a sense, but Xbox seems to have been taking that step bit by bit. And now they've basically said, here's literally the key to gaming. Like PC, do what you want. I've seen some really insane things on the, ROG Xbox Ally. People talking about libraries. Can they play your libraries? I'm like, do you know what libraries exist on PC? Like, like your libraries exist on PC. Like, if you're from the other side saying and pointing fingers, saying, oh, but can it play this game? It's like, my guy, you're worried about Halo 5? You're not seeing God of War Ascension playing on that thing? Like, what are you talking about? Halo 5 and all these other things. But many of them, are in a position where I think they're just so I think people are just so concerned about the things that don't necessarily matter. And I've also run into a lot of folk who are Xbox and pro Xbox people who want the old order. Oh, we want an Xbox handheld that is just like our Xbox Series S and X. I'm like, that is the exact same proposition that has Microsoft doing 50% or less of the hardware sales of PlayStation. Because that hardware still has the exact and will have the exact same limitations and one more worse. You know what it is? And this is crazy. I thought about it yesterday. I said this to this gentleman. I said, imagine if Xbox dropped an Xbox Series H in the middle of this generation. Developers will go crazy. The media will go crazy. How are they supposed to optimize for 3 different devices? Blah, 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 blah. They were all over the Series S. Did y'all forget? Did we forget? I didn't forget. And so you wanted to go bring another potato handheld and drop on these developers? I don't know where they are, but there are apparently some phantom devs that are complaining about the Series S, thanks to some people who show me screenshots of everybody saying that the Series S was a problem. And and then now you want to go give them another device that doesn't give a mea culpa? I think Xbox has made a smart decision here by making a PC out of this device at this moment in time. At some point, if they want to make a traditional Xbox chip-based handheld that carries that Xbox moniker, I strongly believe that they'll be able to do it. And then at that point, they have development kits out. Developers are thinking about their game, or maybe in the middle of their game, and thinking that this device will be, something that, has a, in my opinion anyways, their consideration. Plus, they have a parity clause. Man, I cannot believe that. I'm not even an Xbox guy. Oh my gosh. They have a parity clause. The parity clause would require that particular game show up on the handheld. What would the guys at Gearbox have done with Borderlands 4 with its challenges, right? What would the guys at Capcom have done with Monster Hunter Wilds with its challenges? Well, I mean, if you think about all of these things and put it together, I can't imagine a world where this device not being a PC was the right choice without headaches. And that's the perspective that I'm seeing from
it was definitely necessary for them to thread this needle the way they did because it solves so much. Everborn, you were going to say.
No. I mean, and that's the point. I keep coming back to this, right? The people who are so upset by the name of this device and they want it to be called something very specific are leaving out the words that they mean.
Yeah.
Right? It is not, nor has it ever been advertised as an Xbox Series console. So all of the things and prerequisites that people are adding to it, that is on them. Right? So no. This is the other problem. Every person that tells you VG or tells me it's not an Xbox, it's a PC handheld, we say yes, it's a PC handheld. And it's still an Xbox device.
It is. It's an Xbox
Right.
handheld.
How do we know? How do we know what an Xbox device is? Because it was defined by a company
you-
who created it, and now that same company is defining something else. So why do you take their
something
first
else
word
that
when they
own.
took it?
Let's just be clear.
Yeah,
Something else
exactly,
they also
exactly.
own.
That they also own. So when they defined it back when, you were like, oh, that's what that is. You invented it and calling it that. Okay, and now they're calling something else, and you're just like, no, like. Then why did you take their word for it in the first place?
Here's the crazy part. Here's the crazy part.
Yes.
The folk who are saying this don't have a requirement that can satisfy convincing them, including the requirement of an engineer or a series of engineers at Asus ROG calling it an Xbox with their names on the screen. There's that inside video inside the making of the Xbox ROG Ally X or ROG Ally video. In that video, you have an engineer, or I don't know if he's an engineer, but he's a guy and he's on the Asus ROG, team. And he calls it an Xbox. He's like, we wanted to make this device an Xbox. And how do we get to the point where we can actually call it that? The goal was to take the base foundation of the ROG Ally and make an Xbox out of it. So what are the components that we're going to need to do that? Even when you play that clip and say that, they say, well, but I'm like, bro, Asus calls it an Xbox. Xbox calls it an Xbox. Jack Hune calls it an Xbox. Freaking Lisa Su knows it's an Xbox. Like, there's nobody that does not know that this thing is an Xbox.
Yeah, but VG, some random person on Twitter said it wasn't an Xbox, so we should go by that.
We should basically stop all what we're doing. We should drop everything and then, pretty much entertain that. And I think it's all about attention. But here's the thing. The attention that they were asking for, they got. And for all purposes, it served something. And you know me, whenever I find out that I'm about to be right, I come and collect. I love claiming my trophies. The Xbox
so like Everborn Saga, you are also petty, is what you're saying.
I am petty, and I'm gonna put it out there. So if you're listening, those of you that love to listen to exactly what it is that I'm saying, to go ahead and hound me, you spent the weekend talking about Xbox to the detriment of silencing anything PlayStation did. I've been telling y'all that your negativity towards Xbox would drive Xbox to relevance and put PlayStation in the place where it's irrelevant. Just keep talking. That's the only requirement. The moment you say something, everyone comes in. And here you are. Yeah.
No, I was saying, have you seen any other PC handheld with this much conversation, vitriol, crying, tearing, cheering over?
Not at all. I have not seen a single one. And none.
If you hated the device, you could have just shut up and let it move on to irrelevance.
Yeah.
Apathy is what the response is.
But no. The detractors can't help themselves. And I keep warning them. I say, you really think at this point, Xbox is now absorbing the press from y'all. In fact, I almost believe that they are now purposefully sowing seeds that make you guys rage and rave. Because are you
not looking at what they put inside the case? They literally are trolling people. They are literally trolling people.
They are now realizing that they have a proxy marketing team on the other side. This is an Xbox case. You're reading the tweet they put out the other day. If you're reading this tweet, you're reading this tweet on an Xbox. I'm like, hey. And
wait, hold on, VG. Are you saying they've turned the PlayStation fans to unpaid shills?
To evangelists of the Xbox ecosystem. This is not, they may not have intended it, but my goodness, the results and the consequences so far are that these guys cannot stop talking about Xbox. I cannot go a single day. Everything you say, it's like, okay, so I guess maybe if we throw more of the engagement, the algorithm, maybe that's probably going to resolve it. Every single time that they do that. And the Xbox community is now getting a lot, because the Xbox community is starting to see at least a good portion. They're starting to see exactly where this thing is going. Xbox has been a benefactor of Windows for a long time. Just the fact that, I was looking at this number. There's a very interesting number that it tells a very big story for Xbox. When Xbox One had sold about 20 million units, estimated, right? That exact same year, PlayStation sold 19 million units. PlayStation sold approximately the entire Xbox console sales for that generation in a 12-month, or I guess I'll say in a fiscal year for them. That is that. If that doesn't spell trouble, I don't know what else would have. And so pivoting to start to integrate PC was the absolutely right move for the studios at the time, for the brand at the time, and from a perspective to prove yourself as a division that could continue to go on even with that particular predicament set on you. I don't see any argument that can ever touch that one, because it's up. I mean, obviously, look at where we are. I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, that Satya Nadella comes in 2014 and is willing at this point in time in Xbox's generation to say, okay, I think we can approve for this kind of an acquisition. If nobody can see that particular, correlation, at least to some extent, I'm not saying it's fully exactly what caused, because there was also, Minecraft purchase and all the above. But if no one can see that, then I think they're just going to continue to lie, basically blind on purpose, purposefully blind to the Xbox, PC proposition. And at the end of the day, what's going to happen? Rockstar is going to bring that game out to PC. In fact, my money, about 25 cents of it, is still on Rockstar launching that game on PC the same day. I don't know why. I don't know why.
Day and date is a possibility.
If I'm wrong, I lose 25 cents.
Yes, there's some people in the chat that will take that bet.
I'll donate that 25 cents. But I don't see a world where Rockstar, because some people are saying, and somebody said something that caught my attention. They said, Rockstar delayed the console version, didn't they? I didn't hear anything about the PC version getting delayed. And I was like, okay, you're over here egging me on, aren't you? And so I'm thinking about Rockstar's proposition, and I'm like, Rockstar, you cannot in this climate, or maybe they have some reason like, we don't want people to pirate our game and such. Mm-hmm. But I wouldn't see a world where the decision makers have the potential to do it and not do it. It's May, right? We'll see how 2026 runs. Let's see what the books close out at with the companies, and let's see their possibilities. Because if they tell you that the system requirements is basically this, mm-hmm. any PC gamer that wants to play GTA 6 is going to act accordingly. There's just no doubt about that. So I don't know. We'll see though. We'll see. Time is still far off.
Now,
so go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, just the last thing on this, and then I do want to talk about the constructive criticism, because there's some things in the UI. So I just think that what Xbox is doing now is they're transitioning. This is their digital transition, right? They're moving to become a software layer that is that you experience through multiple screens or whatever, right? And so this is an Xbox campaign, does have a lot of people in their feelings, and you can say whatever you want, you're in your feelings about it. That's why you can't shut up about it. Mm-hmm. But I think that this is what Xbox is going forward, which is it's your library, it is your achievements, it is your friends list, it is the user experience. That is what Xbox is. Because if we really think about these things, none of these platforms are tied to a single piece of hardware, because that means every time you had a new generation, you couldn't call the next generation the same thing, right? So as we say, the PS4 did not play PS3 2 or 1 games, but it was still a PlayStation, right? Because the platform transitions into new things. Now, previously they were locked to a single piece of hardware. Now they are, and again, today, right now, and VG, you brought up a great article, if you have it again, where you talked about the introduction of the update of Windows 10 to the Xbox, and how they talked about it and merging those things and saying that it was a single platform. I think it's super important right now, and we maybe didn't see it then, But if you have that link, I'd love to give it to the chat here.
Yeah,
but
let me scroll down Twitter and find it.
So here's
while you
thing.
do that though,
yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah. So the thing is this: backwards compatibility is not a prerequisite of using a brand name. It's not. Because if it would, that will fall on its face very quickly. Right? So we know backwards compatibility is not it, right? Then we'll say, a PC platform is a PC platform and an Xbox platform is an Xbox platform, until we come to the fact that your series console today is running on a Windows kernel with the UI stripped out, and it's running a custom shell for you to launch your games, which is now it doesn't look the same, and I'm not calling this a series console, but there's still a similar concept happening, right? These are DirectX games, right? Wherever you're playing them. And so I just think that this is what Xbox is going forward, right? You don't have to like that, but that is what this device is called. The people who make this device call it this. You can call it whatever you want in your head canon, but that is the name of the device. Do I have to get the box for you?
The inventor of said device called it this.
And the owner of the operating system.
Yeah, and whether you like it or you don't, it is what it is.
These people are saying it's a PC handheld like that's an own. We are saying it's a PC handheld. That does not make it not an Xbox device. The same way you have an Xbox app, right? And you have an Xbox controller, and you can have partner Xbox controllers. And by the way, do you realize this? I just thought about this. They did a partnership device with Meta, right? Nobody had an issue with them calling that the Quest 3 the Xbox edition. Right? Nobody had a problem. You know why they have a problem here? Because it plays a certain set of games.
Y'all need to stop shadowboxing. Enough already.
No, I'm direct. These are direct shots. These are
no one's here. No one's here on this panel that deserves it. Stop the shadowboxing.
Now, I do want to get to the
before we continue. I did ask that people put in 3K in the chat. If you saw that, put 3K in the chat, and in so doing, you have the opportunity to earn or win rather a Steam code. Now, I have 3 winners of said Steam code. I will read them out, and then when I read them out, and by the way, James Kofi and Arcade for 4247 who won Absalom codes, they have actually already reached out to me during the show, and they got themselves access to that code. So shout out to the great Sycamore, and also to the great Dr. Dry Rub for providing those codes. But funny enough, while we were on the show, the great what's his name? What is his name? I'm all over the place.
What game is this? Slow-mo's asking.
Oh, this is for Absalom, by the way. It's for Absalom. That's the game that they won.
Hey, wait a minute. Somebody said that the Xbox Ally can locally sort of natively play more PS3 games than the PS5.
That's well, okay. If you want to do it through emulation, then that is absolutely true. You can play anything you want.
Wait a minute. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna save this. VG, we gotta talk about your next
Let me finish
video.
up. Sure. Stop it. Anyway, these 3 individuals reach out to me, and you have choices to make. What choices do you have to make? I will let you know. There is still, funny enough, another code for Absalom. Shout out to the great Infinite Umbra who just sent me a code. There's another code for Absalom. People just love Absalom. They want to give Absalom away. So there's a code for Absalom. It is amazing.
Hollywood Rules is trying to clear his name.
Of course he's trying. And I also have Ball X Pit. I have this awesome game that is a Souls-like called Deathbound. We also have like a Mega Man X collection. So many other codes, and you 3 individuals have that choice. That is Golden Soak, the slanderous Zach Riley, who was just talking smack a few minutes ago, and Texas. Shout out to you 3. Y'all 3 got picked in the picker. Reach out to me. You have 24 hours to do so in the DMs, and I will give you your options, and you can pick a Steam code. So shout out to y'all. Congratulations.
2 things. Let me read Hollywood Rules super chat. And I saw that slow-mo. Shut up. But Hollywood Rules says, no, I was telling everyone else to subscribe. He's been subscribed.
He's been subscribed. That's right. That's right.
And Sega fan, I appreciate
That's
you,
right.
sir. Now the second thing.
Well, no. Let's not just go super chats. We gotta do all of them.
No, this is important.
Okay.
Shout out to the Black John who came through to see Everborn Saga at New York Comic Con.
That's awesome.
He came through.
That is awesome.
I didn't get a picture. I should have, but I didn't know if he wanted his business out there. So shout out to the Black John. He came through.
That's great. That is awesome.
Now,
I always love to hear when people show up IRL. It's a different energy. I love that stuff, man. That's really cool. That's really
I don't
cool.
shadow box with slow-mo soil tech. I do day every day.
30 below with a final super chat. He says, well, no, if it's an Xbox or not. Wait till the sales numbers. Yeah.
Xbox. When those sales numbers come out,
they're already. I mean, did y'all not see the calendar? They're already ahead of schedule. With the sales numbers. Oh yeah, I put this. We predicted that they would come out with the sales number thing next week around the 21st. But as of the 17th, we already started getting sales numbers, and yes, they are calling it an Xbox as they talk about what they perceive as low sales.
Although what I would say, it wouldn't be fair for them to combine console and this as the same thing, right? They would differentiate them in the actual categories, right?
This assumes
you are correct. You are correct.
Right? But okay. Roshan Eppinger, who's been a member for 8 months, shout out to Roshan Eppinger. He says the confusion is thanks to Internet Explorer. They need to acknowledge the other console storefronts because it's Windows. Could that be a factor? That's the thing. That's an interesting thought. Remember the Internet Explorer of it all. Now they're putting their base OS, which everyone uses, the world uses, right? And they're putting it as a gaming platform. By that very nature, if they don't allow for Steam and they don't allow for Epic and we've discussed this, right? They could open themselves up to regulatory scrutiny, right? So that is indeed a factor, right? That's why they have to let you install other app stores. Otherwise, the most powerful operating system in the world is only locked to Windows and only locked to Microsoft Store. That would be regulatory fodder.
This is not altruism, folks.
Yeah,
right?
It's necessary. It's absolutely necessary.
They do not want the FTC breathing down their neck.
Coming for them. That's right. That's right. The great Sycamore 007 rather. He's here with a final super chat. He says, it's a PC or it's an Xbox. I don't care. Father Gabe has many rooms in his house, and you are welcome. Steve Glizzy, brother.
You are not lying.
Sale VG fight.
VG, I will say this, right? I love this device, but to me, the Holy Trinity is the full screen experience with
on Steam.
Well, yeah. It is Steam and big picture mode, the game bar, and the task switch. That is the Holy Trinity. I'm in heaven.
Now we have to figure out a way of having it boot up that way without the pesky Xbox app.
Yeah, but it's not. It doesn't take anything. Like you.
True. To get it out of the way. Yes, I get you.
I'm not worried about that, and I don't.
BT Maverick
off every time I'm done with it. I just put it to
sleep.
Just
put it to sleep. Come back and it's already on the Xbox on the Steam side. Yeah, makes sense. BT Maverick 707 thought out super chat. He says, let's not forget Xbox Ally can remote play GTA 5 off of PlayStation. Just like the PS Portal plays PlayStation.
And they don't got no problem with that calling the PS Portal.
Yep.
And then, final super chat, 30 below with a $10 super chat. He says, VG speaking facts 100%. Remember, Redfall fumble was Xbox's fault. Starfield's success was not Xbox's win. Both games from the same publisher.
Xbox tax.
So, before we continue, we are 2 hours and 5 minutes in. I want to keep it to about 2:30. So I think we should pause the hardware conversation here. If you guys, unless you guys have a objection, because I have one other thing that I wanted to discuss with this specific audience. I feel like it might take more than 30 minutes.
I know that. So the last thing I will say, my piece of constructive criticism for this is, and I've given this feedback directly, right?
Yeah.
But if you are going to say everything is an Xbox, right? I think the marketing is great. I think it has a lot of people talking, but I think that like Steam, you should have a consistent UI everywhere. And right now, console and cloud feel very similar, but PC feels very distinct. And that to my mind, aside from like the back end stuff, which I know you can speak to a little bit, to my mind, the front end, if you're gonna say like Xbox is a software layer, then the UI in the Xbox app should mirror or come as close as possible to what you have on the console or even the cloud, because you have two endpoints that are very similar. This one is different, and I understand that they're serving multiple masters here, because some people do want a dense mouse and keyboard first UI, and they don't want it to be Fisher priced out, right? Because when you're at your desk, you need a different experience than when you're on your handheld and your television. But I think Valve handles that well by saying, hey, here's the desktop mode and here's the big picture mode. I think that you can have a full screen mode where the app itself changes postures.
Yeah, it's exactly like a game. Certain games, you put a keyboard and mouse in, it shows the keyboard and mouse UI. You put a controller in, it shows a controller UI. The launcher should adapt to its control scheme, and it should not be too difficult for that to be.
I would like to feel like and I feel that way if I try xCloud. I don't feel that way when I'm in the Xbox app, and that was before this full screen experience. But I think that should be job number one. They ship the device. So device is great. The Windows updates are great. Work on the Xbox app now.
Let me address. There's like 3 or 4 little pins that I put in here before we move on, because I really want to talk about this last thing. And as men who are of a certain persuasion, and you will see where I'm going with this, I feel this is a very pertinent conversation, which we will start here and probably finish in the Discord, because this thing is something else. But before we do that, let's finish off a couple of these which were related to the handheld talk. One from Captain Chats, who asked a genuine question. He says, if they knew it needed work to release before they released the device, why did they release it as is? We have said it before on the show, and it has been said, it's an adage that always happens. Do not let perfection be the enemy of good. They got to start somewhere, and they need people's experience, people's like pain points to churn that butter to make it better. Just like Valve did. Where it started is not where it is today, right? People exalt SteamOS and Steam Deck and Steam rather as this amazing thing. It took them almost 20 years to get there. And most of the 20 years was us bitching at them about how it sucks. And many of those aspects still suck, but we don't care about those, the socials and all those other things. Right? It took them a long time to get the UI, UX exactly the way we want. And then, of course, as soon as it was done, Everborn showed up, claimed it with Christopher Columbus. But that's a different conversation.
There you go with the thing. Listen, to that end, have you seen iOS 26 lately?
Yes. Oh, I'm using it. It's right? Like, it's like, right? So it's like iOS Vista.
Yes. Everybody ships stuff that's not great when it first comes out, and then they get better.
It takes time, right? Yeah. But they cannot be like, oh, it's perfect now, and now we'll release it. It'll never be perfect, because it could be perfect in their mind. They release it, and a bunch of crap doesn't work to your liking. So they have to work with the consumers to get it right.
I think that the better way to look about this is let's point out, the deficiency, and then let's try to give the feedback for the things that they need to fix.
And the Great Silent Cipher, who also owns one now, says the ergonomics of the handheld makes it playable in bed. The previous one felt unwieldy when he was lying down and playing it. Has decent grips.
I can attest.
Aaron asks, do you get achievements on the ROG? You get Xbox achievements. So
Xbox playing an Xbox game.
Well, no, understand. You get Xbox achievements on the ROG, right? and this is all first party stuff, obviously. If you're playing the first party stuff from the Xbox app, you can either get the unified achievements, because it depends on the game, which is another thing that's really weird that should be fixed. If you're playing, like for example, there are versions of games that are PC versions versus versions of games that are console versions. And if some games, the console version has different achievements in the PC version. Other games, as long as you've played one or the other, you get both. And then, of course, since this is an open platform, if you're playing a Steam game or an Epic game or anything else, they also have their own different paradigm for achievements. So it's not one unified framework, unfortunately. Another thing they need to work on, I think. You know, but yes, there's that. All right, so I think that covers about some of the interesting questions that I wanted to at least like somewhat address. Everborn, keep going, keep showing it off. Maybe you want to play some Absalom, but what I want to do real quick, and VG, I'm happy you are here because I want to have this quick chat before we get out of here. We have about 15-20 minutes to do it. I know you, like me, keep your ear to the news streets, and like we're not gonna like break it apart and go too far into it. But I heard this thing came out recently, and it's kind of been bubbling, and I really want to have a conversation about it for obvious reasons.
Spill the beans.
What am I talking about? I'm talking about Ubisoft canceling a Civil War themed Assassin's Creed game because of our current political climate. Now, I won't just leave that there because that's one side of it. After this came out, we heard from the great Jeff Grubb, right? You guys have heard recently, not too long ago, that we lost me. Am I lost? I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I'm here.
I think we lost Everborn Saga because he looks a little bit weird. Ladies and gentlemen, we might be having some weird connection issues. Oh, hold on. Now it's completely weird. All right, hold on. Can y'all hear and or see me? Do we have some connection issues?
I think we did. I wonder if it's because I was sharing.
I don't know. Yeah, it was a little odd.
Well, I stopped it, and we seem to come back. So we'll.
Okay.
We'll.
So basically, the TLDR of it is not only is Ubisoft basically stopping certain things because of the quote unquote political climate, but we also heard that with that reset of BioShock 4, the one that has Rod Ferguson back at 2K at the helm of it, that has also been reset because of similar political leaning environment issues, right? I bring this up.
Okay.
Real quick. I bring this up for two reasons. One, because I want us to really have a conversation about what this means writ large. And two, because we had this conversation, myself and Everborn, some time ago, where Everborn said, let the mouth breathers breathe. When at the end of the day, you know, we had this conversation with, I think, Hogwarts Legacy and a few other things, where ultimately it doesn't hurt them in the wallet. So, what kind of power do these guys have? They're not really, their boycott brigade ain't doing anything. But now it's looking like their boycott brigade is having some effect in the back rooms, and we just don't know it's fucking us. That's mine. Sorry, that's my own. But it seems to be. So this is why I bring this up.
Yeah. Well, VG, you go ahead.
Okay, VG, you first. You first. Yeah.
So this has been, you know, there's been a lot in terms of context. If you look at the initial constraints and complaints and concerns, it was that there were investor classes that had been requiring some of these things being added in entertainment, or even businesses highlighting specific things to receive investor dollars. This is a financial reality. So already the moment that went into the political conversation, and you guys know that everything, you know, in terms of that, everything is downstream from culture. So the moment that people started to see that as a threat to their way of life, or as a difference to their way of life, as as kind of something infusing their way of life in one way or the other, just people don't like that. Like, get off of me. That's the idea. So before gaming even started seeing its effects, subscription services, movies, Disney, I mean, this stuff was already happening. The Mandalorian issue, we're on the back end of this in the gaming side, right? We're on the back end on the gaming side. So when the gaming side started to receive and feel it, the difference though between gaming and the others is gaming is very expensive in a weird sense. So now the big shots are looking at their bottom line. They want to now make games that would thread the needle of, walk the minefield and gladly come out on the other side. Some games are able to make it because there was a fan base that was actually there to back them up regardless. Hogwarts Legacy. Hogwarts Legacy was different though. And I think that, sometimes it's easy to mischaracterize that. J.K. Rowling was the main, she was the main focus for people saying, oh, we're going to point our anger at her and we're going to boycott her game. However, some people were like, yeah, we don't care how we feel about her. We want to play this game. It just happens.
Yeah, the game really didn't have anything to do with her except that she created the world that the game is based on.
Basically, yes. And people were able to say, well, what does that So Hogwarts had a very different set of circumstances.
Yes,
they Harry Pottered its way into its sales numbers and into its financial success. But many of these other games don't have that kind of grace. In fact, like Assassin's Creed, you also I don't know if you know, the Assassin's Creed boss also was asked to step aside yesterday.
Yes, he left
on LinkedIn that he was asked to step aside. Like they gave him a different role and it just didn't fit his scope, and so he left. He was putting it out there on LinkedIn to apologize to his team. So Ubisoft is not going to want to deal with, and we're talking about the Civil War game that they canceled. Honestly, as much as I appreciate that story, well, how about Shadows that just came out?
Oh,
yeah, you know what I mean?
Look, and it's so funny too, right? When this whole conversation like blew over, because I remembered the whole Shadows conversation, and we talked about it here on the show, and it was, well, is he not? Every 5 minutes in the game, they call him a samurai. Shut your fucking face. I'm sorry. That's my second one. See what I'm doing today?
You took mine for the day. Look at you.
Damn it.
This is one of those. We get one swear word per show.
You can. I would donate mine.
I took my bad, man. My bad. But this whole thing, just like, because everybody made a whole thing of it, and then you play the game, and I'm really enjoying Shadow. Yeah. And he is a samurai, writ large. There is no question about it when you're in that world. He is a samurai. Everyone calls him a samurai. He is a samurai. But Ubisoft had to come out on Front Street and kowtow to the mouth breathers and
Ubisoft first took this approach where they were like, we're looking at, the news that came out. I don't know if it was them or it was a rumor. They were looking at legal ramifications for anybody who harasses their developers. Well, that doesn't work in gamer world. Everybody is insane. You know what I mean? Like, this is an insane world. Why would you want to do anything like that? So there's no need. I think they've now realized trying to put out the PR fires is way more expensive than just making a game that is clean cut. And I've always said this, whoever really thinks, and this is my opinion, and I'm sure it's going to be a reality because we're already seeing it. Whoever really thinks that some cause that you may have or some ideology you may hold, or even a value you may hold, it could be a personal value that's actually very, precious to you and your family. If you really think that these development teams care about that or publishers care about that, then it's a delusion. They will only cater to where the money is. And now the money is telling them we got to make games that are just going to pretty much back away from any of these sensitive topics that we know can cause a fire. And so now what are they doing?
Making that in the first place, not because they cared about it, but
not because they cared. Yeah. So
altruism was never part of the equation in the first place.
Exactly. They're just continuing with exactly what they're doing. So I wouldn't even be worried about them in that regard, because there will be people that will still make good art. There will still be people who will make things that would push against this grain.
And remember, this is not just Ubisoft being cowardly. 2K took the same approach, and that's the reason why BioShock 4 is being delayed as long as it has. Because
who knows?
What was the quote? Something about they're not safe with like antagonists being fascists in our today's world. Like it's not safe to smack a Nazi anymore. It's not safe to be like that's cool anymore. Like in this world we live today, like what Wolfenstein 3
you
can't
about
come
the
out.
People complaining about that, but anyway,
like
here's the thing though.
It's just wild to me. Go ahead.
I have a little bit of a different take on
this.
So number one, I agree. Ubisoft is scared. They don't want any more drama. They've been dealing with a lot of other things, and if Assassin's Creed doesn't perform well, they're done, and they're probably done anyway. And again, I don't take the fact that a game like this that was in development as they were doing something courageous. No, they thought they were in a market where they could capitalize on that. And it was probably greenlit after the George Floyd stuff. So they figured, let's go get in on the Black Lives Matter money. Right? That being said, I would not be interested in a game like this. I like, after 12 years a slave, I have kind of been done with the trauma porn. And I understand if this is like a Django where you're hunting people down, and I think
it
one of the Mafia
would
games,
be. That's exactly what the idea was.
I think one of the Mafia games did this well, where you could just hunt people down like that.
It seemed like it was going down that path. Yeah. The idea, real quick for the consumers, the idea being that you, for those who didn't read it, you were going to be like on the hunt for some leaders of a Ku Klux Klan of its day. This is the 1800s, somewhere like that, like constructionism, that time period. Yeah.
So for me, I just think as Black people, our lineage and our history is so much greater than that. Entertainment has explored that enough. I'm not saying you didn't have good films. I'm not saying whatever.
Sure.
But I don't need to see that anymore. I would but
that's not the point, though, right? The point is that it's stopping people from making their stories because of these mouth breathers, which you said they had no power. And I'm here to tell you, this is power.
No. I don't think it is power. I just think they wanted to stay away from controversy in general. Because of
directly related Yasuke's controversy to them deciding to
but
delay this.
That is not. I just think you don't want the negative discussion around the thing in when they are in such a precarious state.
Guys,
millions,
hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars are on the line.
True. Yes.
And even if you or I were sitting in those positions to make the decision,
we would probably make the same decision. We'd probably make the same decision. Yes,
even if we don't make,
them dollars are more important than anything else. You're absolutely right.
Go ahead, green light it. We're now responsible for somebody having on record said, "Have you considered this possibility?" And more than likely, if it goes south, you're losing your job. I'm not saying we should sell our souls for money. I'm just saying that the thought would have at least crossed our minds.
So again, I understand it would have been more like a Django thing. I'm just saying I don't want to see the imagery around that anymore. I just think there's I've seen it enough, and I don't know how you do something like that.
See, and this is why I don't want to keep limiting it to Assassin's Creed. I understand that some people may not like Assassin's Creed or may not like the premise of what they're discussing, but that's why I combined the Assassin's Creed one with BioShock 4, which itself also is very politically minded. If you know the BioShock series, each and every one of them is very politically minded, and that one also has been delayed because of similar reasons. I guess the broader topic that I really wanted to pick apart is like these campaigns are changing minds in back rooms and causing delays
I don't think that's what
literally one to one. Like this is what's leading to the other.
No, I don't think those people have any power. I'm sorry. I think this is more of Ubisoft being in a precarious situation and try to do things.
And 2K then
off the least amount of people.
Everyone, you don't think that they have consumer power?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like this is whether it's good power or bad power.
I don't think they do.
They have sway, man.
I'm saying.
Let me.
How much sway did the same people have over Captain Marvel? Like, how much sway did people online have over Hogwarts Legacy? When a game fails or a movie fails, it fails because of other reasons than people complaining online.
I understand. I don't disagree with that. However,
that's not what this is.
Here's what
that's the decision makers. Go ahead.
Think about a slice of a very competitive pie. If you're launching a game today, I don't think many developers in the eye and the face of Fortnite, Call of Duty, and the others can afford even a small base of 200,000 people with a negative impact or negative impact.
And a loud voice.
That's all they need. It's a small number that they need, because that small number is not just going to be 200,000 that don't buy this game. It's 200,000 that delete their Ubisoft account. It's a weird permissive. People are very impressionable. I work with some of the most impressionable people in the world. You know what I mean? Like, that's literally my entire, and so I see this trend and I'm like, man, people are super impressionable, and you cannot underestimate how much people can absorb an impression, and it then changes the course, or at least they act upon what it is. And I think Ubisoft is looking at that and saying, okay, what, and I'm not excusing them. Don't get me wrong. I just think that, it's not necessarily what we perceive from our perspective. Yes, in the grand scheme of things, those titles, those games, they have still come out, in a decent place. I don't disagree with you saying that, they don't like their immediate impact is not usually seen, because at that point people basically pick sides. Oh, I'm buying the game. I don't care. Oh, I'm not going to buy the game. Right. But what is the long-term effect? We're not seeing that. And I'm almost certain that what we're seeing are the results of the long-term effect. How much
that's what I'm talking about.
Take, how much can take, take? Why is GTA 6 delayed? Has anybody even considered that? It could probably not be a technical issue. I mean, I'm just throwing that out there, GTA 6. I always like, messing with you. But what is going on? I mean, like, if I was... Okay, let me see. Let me not say that on here. But that's all I wanted to just go ahead and throw out.
Okay, here.
He's filtering real time.
All right, listen. I think you should say what you were going to say, but while you consider that, I will say this, right? Those boycotts didn't like all them people said they was canceling Game Pass didn't, right?
Sure.
Like the people say
we agree with you that it doesn't necessarily relate to the wallet. You're right? It didn't necessarily translate to the wallet, but enough of those loud mouths did get into the ear of decision makers, and that caused them to delay things.
Yeah,
and that caused them to cancel things, and that, whether we like it or not, is having an adverse effect.
So two things are true at once. On the one hand, I would not have been interested in a game like this. So,
but that has nothing to do with this.
No, I understand. I just putting for the record saying I'm happy it got canceled. Because I just feel like that's exploit. There's a certain point where you get to exploitation.
Exploitative. Yes, I get that. Which is a valid critique. Valid critique.
I am tired of that. And there's so many other stories that we could tell besides something in that setting. The second thing is where I'm pushing back in this debate, and I promise I'm not even trying to be a contrarian here. I genuinely believe that the people complaining online do not have power, and Twitter is not a real place. And this is a situation of Ubisoft in general being in a precarious position, even
them specifically noting to the mouth breathers who were yelling about the Yaska situation and causing it. They said this in the article.
I understand, but it doesn't matter what the mouth breathers were yelling about. Okay, right? The mouth breathers could have been people mouth breathing from the left. They would have just said, "I need to file down."
Yeah, they want no smoke
because
they
want
no smoke.
I get it. As many people as I can.
I get it. That's a point. That is a point. Yes, they. It's not necessarily specifically this kind of smoke. It's just smoke in general because Ubi was in a precarious. I get that, and that's the reason why I'm like, well, what about 2K then? Because they were high.
What did 2K do? Because 2K.
So let me tell you. When this story first came out, right, and of course this is all on background, so take it with the biggest grains that you take. Right. When this came out, the great Jeff Grubb basically came out and spilled the tea and said, "Oh yeah, this is exactly what happened with the 2K situation. They basically they brought in Rod, and they production reset it. And one of the main reasons, not only, but one of the main reasons was because the political climate and the subject matter was not like something that they wanted to deal with now, and something to do with fascism, and they were worried of calling fascism what it is in today's climate.
And
GTA? If you played, no, this is BioShock. If you played BioShock, like the idea of fascism and all that runs deep in that lineage. Like BioShock Infinite was all about a dude who was a fascist who had fascist ideas and basically didn't want to live among normal people and built the city in the sky. That's what BioShock Infinite is about, right? And they do their fascist thing, they're slave owners and the whole thing. And now they're delaying and resetting that game because of the same exact thing that we were just discussing. So I'm just saying, even though I understand what you're saying and you believe it, it does seem that the reporting is saying that those conversations are having some kind of effect in certain ears, which are important ears because they're the ones that are decision makers.
At the same time, though, when we come back to GTA 6, you have expressed the concern that the original writers are no longer.
Oh yeah, they're already
there,
gone. Yes, so there is a concern. Yes,
maybe, and that is that your concern was that on the left side of the spectrum, they may be afraid of the drama that it will bring if they do typical GTA stuff. So this is not those people getting power.
No. This is just in general
with
power is being
Yes, people with tens or in some cases hundreds of millions of dollars on the line trying to avoid whatever they think will cause controversy.
Yes, but that exists.
Refuse to
and what we're saying is because that exists.
You're talking about have power. They don't.
But because that paradigm exists, when people breathe like they breathe and they go, "Oh, is he a black samurai?" This and that. Those ears who are very sensitive because they got millions of dollars on the line, they can be swayed, and it's happening.
Let me see if I can put this is a perspective of power that I usually depict whenever I'm speaking with my students, and when we're talking about like power dynamics, right? I'm like, imagine you're driving in a foreign country, and a young lady, petite, very just not paying attention, she rams your vehicle. Maybe she just rear ends your vehicle, right? You come out, you're upset, and for some strange reason,
they just had. But go ahead.
That happened exactly like me, exactly. But continue.
And you're really upset, and you're like, I can't believe you're on your phone, and you like just maybe smack the phone out of this kid's hand, right? You don't understand what's going on, right?
Yeah.
Well, then you find out you're in this foreign country. You find out that she's royalty, very well connected, and all of a sudden your life is a legal hell. That's power. You didn't see it. Right? At the moment, all you saw was what was right in front of you, that this very unassuming teenage kid that was distracted had done something that was deserving of somebody actually addressing. But now you didn't realize I don't barked up the wrong tree. Sometimes power dynamics or this kind of thing may not show itself. Ubisoft has had a lot of challenges in other, I played the Division. My main channel covered the Division for years, and that whole ecosystem in itself is one that also can receive blowback effects. Rainbow Six can receive blowback effects of all of these things. They know that there's a cross merging of their players across the board, so they're looking at a broader picture than just the initial game and the art too. So there are just so many lasting effects that I'm pointing at. And it's not just the financial of this one game, and then even the long-term effects of this one game. It's the financial effect of Ubisoft as a whole. It's exactly what even made Everborn. Do you remember that the reason they formed a subsidiary is because they were about to get a hostile takeover, because some shareholders were pointing to these similar concerns from the so-called loudmouths. Like it cascaded so far, and now this is where they are. And it's just weird though. But again, I just wanted to point that out, that there's a side of this that we can't see on the front end because it's crazy in front, right? And yes, Twitter is not real life, but what does the back end look like for other people?
Yeah, and that it's very good insight. The only thing I'll add to that is big corporate entities try to shave the edges off when
all the time. Yes, all the time.
And that goes in either direction. And yes, you have a group of people from one side. I believe that if there was different subject matter that the different side of the political spectrum were upset about, they would do the same thing. And they would and the shareholders, in like that the potential hostile takeover that they tried to avoid by doing the subsidiary, those people are going to use whatever ammo is at their belt, right? This was a big thing. It was a controversy in the news. Let me use that to get to the outcome that I want.
Let me see if I can resolve this real quick for you. There's an article I'm going to send you in your DMs. It's an article by Michael Jordan. So if you might want to heed the words
Michael Jordan. I took that personally, or like
I took that personally, not Michael B. Jordan, not that one. Michael Jordan,
the OG Jordan. That's
he found himself. I just sent you the link in your Twitter DMs. He said it's an ESPN article his mom had told him to go ahead and like speak on a political candidate who was a Democrat, right? And he was telling his friends the story. They were the ones who actually put it out there, and then ESPN or some interviewer confronted Michael about it. And you know what he said? He said, I didn't want to endorse somebody that I didn't really know. I just told my mom, I'll give him money because you asked me to, but Republicans buy sneakers too. OG himself was even cautious about having to put himself in a situation where someone could identify him as opposed to their views.
Yeah, Republican or Democrat. Yeah,
so he just wanted to, no. He's like, I'm a product seller. It's best for me to sell my product and focus on my product. And anything that I do that could even indicate to someone else that I am, for someone else that may, be very touchy as a subject, I want to stay out of it. And this is Jordan, the one that confronted everything that came in front of him, even saw this and said, maybe I'll just, and it's not like he was afraid. I don't think it's fear. I think it's him just, exercising prudence to say, maybe this is not the right approach, because he still told his mom, I'll give him money because, I will donate. I asked that, but, to go stand on there and start doing that, now that puts me in a different position. It puts me in a precarious position, myself. So I've always looked at that as an example of, whenever it comes to like, the commercial side of things, these companies, they really, really have to be very careful.
Yeah,
true.
I think that
Everborn, you get the last word. Let's go.
I think that kind of agrees with what I'm saying, which is it's the controversy, not the political side, right? Maybe that's not what you're getting at, but that's the point that I took conveniently, which is the company, or in that case, the one who doesn't choke in the playoffs, like this was about staying away from drama on wherever it was coming from, because people on both sides spend money. So you don't really want to piss either side off. That doesn't mean one side is more powerful than the other. And that's my point.
Okay, I agree. I agree with you, sir.
And this is not a one side is more powerful than the other kind of a situation. It's the fact the loudmouths, whoever they may be,
general.
Yeah, whoever they may be, whatever side of the spectrum they may be on, the small, incubated, very loud minority of the situation is having more power than we thought they had, is what I'm saying.
I think they have the same amount of power that I always thought they had, which is none. But companies do want to shy away from controversy. I think that's a separate, distinct discussion from people yelling online. But I've said what I'm going to say.
It's what is it? 0-2 now. We lost Assassin's Creed, and we're delayed on BioShock. 0-2. We'll see how many more of this happens.
We didn't need that Assassin's Creed, and we'll see what happens with the rewrite of.
If it screws up BioShock, I will tell you I'll be very upset, because BioShock is very politically minded and one of my favorite.
I think BioShock is very smart, and even if they do not use the word fascism, they can tell a story there without using the specific words, and the people that would get too stupid about it don't understand subtext to begin with, so they'll be fine.
On that note, ladies and gentlemen, we're at the end of the show.
I said
we were hoping for 2:30. With 2:30, we got close. We got close. It happens. It's going down. But yes, thank you all so much for being here. VG, bro, like you stayed with us for the rest of the proceedings, sir. It is always a pleasure when you are able to pull up. You have the invite. Keep that handy whenever you feel like using it. You are always welcome in this here digital era. Tell the people where they can keep up with your ongoings. Tell them where they can keep up with all of the lessons that you need to teach.
My YouTube channel, vgfightschool.com, or youtube.com/vgfightschool. What did I say? vgfightschool.com. Like, nope. Freudian slip. And then on Twitter,
the future website. Don't worry about it. Future website.
Those are the places you can find me. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Always a pleasure having you here, sir. Of course, like the great Boomstick who joined us. Paris Lily lent his voice. By the way, no cap. Paris, one of the greatest reviews of the Xbox handhelds out there. Very, very earnest and honest, and spent a long time really discussing it, the ins and outs, the pluses, the minuses. Great review. I think it was like an hour and a half. Great review from Paris Lily. Check out his review. Mr. Everborn Saga, sir, I know you got a chance to touch grass, be among the people last week. You got to see some folks IRL. Where are we gonna keep up with you? What you know what? As a part of as we're talking about outro for the show, tell the people about why they need to play. And of course, Lucius Augustus. I'm sorry, I see Lucius. I see Umbra in there coming for me. Great, Lucius. Thank you, Lucius, for being here. Appreciate you. Everborn, as we're getting out of this show, tell the people why they need to play Absalom. Go.
I'll tell the people something better. We gave them the code.
Okay.
So they can find that out themselves. I'll tell them why they need to go to everbornsaga.com and buy these comic books. That's what they need. Right? We were just at New York Comic Con. That was our last show for the year. So you will not see us in real life until 2026, which I needed a break. So that's good. But we are on the verge of 4 releases that we have planned for 2026. So you may want to get caught up now. Maybe comic books are not your thing. Maybe you like merch. Maybe you like t-shirts and hoodies from Adidas and Champion. We got a lot of those too. And we have custom GCP merch. And anything on the everbornsaga.com website, if you use checkout code GCP, all capital letters, you get 15% off the order. It don't matter how much you order. I'm just saying.
There you go.
And Absalom's great, but I gotta look out for mine. Christmas is coming soon.
Indeed. Yes. By the way, those who have not hollered at me for your game codes, holla at your boy. I'm in the DMs either on X or on Discord. A few already have. I will send you your codes. There are still a couple who have not. Holla at your boy. Let me get you some codes. We appreciate y'all being here. Thank you guys so much for being here, for continuing to rock with us. We're at 304 now, 3,004 subscribers. It's a small channel, very tiny. We aren't the likes of the great VG Fight School, but we getting there, So we appreciate y'all and everybody's assistance to get us over those little humps. It's a small thing, but it really helps.
Oh, you'll get there. You will definitely get there, man. You guys are going up the moon. The sky is the limit.
It's all good, bro. We appreciate you lending your great voice to us as well. But I think that's it, man. Everborn, anything else I forgot? What do you think?
Nothing, man. I got to go start working on installing this patio door. So that's how my weekend's going.
Yeah. I'm wearing my Super Daddy-O shirt. It's time to be daddy daycare. It's a whole thing. We're gonna do it this weekend. All right. It's been it. Right. For all the great people who joined us, both in the panel and in the chat, thank you guys so much for continuing to rock with us. We appreciate y'all. But that's it, man. Until next week. That's it.
It is an Xbox.